Hey, we
Um,
are live.
awesome.
Yeah. Sorry, what were you gonna say?
No, I was just gonna say, speaking of short appearances, I have to apologize to everybody for my disappearance last week. Once I got to, I was like, oh, we got this. I'll mute myself while driving my child to his basketball practice. And once we got up the hill to the school, one, the reception up there is awful. And I'm like, it's okay. I'll go into the school and get hooked on the Wi Fi. It's all good. The Wi Fi works, but it blocks Discord streaming stuff.
That's so funny.
So, yeah, good times. So I apologize for my abrupt disappearance last week, right in the middle of like a racial conversation also. And I was like, God, people probably think I'm a big asshole right now, leaving right at this moment. I'm like, this is an awful take.
It's,
So you
So
just
my apologies, y'all.
she said, "I'm out."
it's a nope, not dealing with this.
Yeah, I am out
I
on
don't have
that.
a problem talking about the hard things. I don't have a problem discussing race. Yeah, so my bad. It was
No,
just
it
really
certainly
ill-timed.
explains you not showing up to our little talk about sports washing and the whole issue with human rights over in Qatar too. That's for
Oh
sure.
my gosh. So, anyways, let's let bygones be bygones.
Let's just skip
Excuse
through
that
that one.
absence of mine. And let's kick things off, champs.
What's going on, Super
Oh,
Bowl champs?
We did
Feels
it.
good.
Number three.
Did it again. Yeah, number three. I keep having to remember to say it's three because it's, what I'm saying, we weren't alive for
To
that
me, it's
first
we weren't
two.
one.
alive.
Right? Yeah.
Mhm. Right. In our lifetime it's been two, right?
Right,
But
right.
franchise, well, I mean, truly at since the inception of Super Bowl, before it was
Is
even Super Bowl, known as Super Bowl, right?
right. It just it's funny, like no one's claiming that first one. We're all just like two times.
Three, three, three.
Yeah.
There we
Three
go.
times, people. We are three-time Super Bowl champs.
Three
Something
times
I
Super Bowl
never thought I would
champs.
say
Ouch.
in my lifetime. Like, to be honest, like growing up,
Amazing.
seeing like these damn hats. I used to be a big like hat guy. I used to,
Hmm.
buy a bunch of like fitted caps and stuff. It was the early 2000s. Don't judge me. But they always had like the team hats with the cool Super Bowl patches on it, and ours always said Super Bowl 4. And I could not rock that because
You
I did
can't
not want to
really.
get
You're like, what is
Yeah.
clowned
this?
for walking around with Super Bowl 4, something I was never. My parents weren't even born for
No.
that, so it's like no, I won't do that. But I
But
got
now,
yeah. Oh, you best
but
believe
now, oh yeah.
we rocking everything to
Lids
say
collection
champion.
back. You rock the four, you rock
Right,
these last two. Oh yeah.
everything that says Super Bowl, we rocking it because we earned
Love
it.
it.
She can own
Well,
it.
our team
Yeah.
did. We didn't do anything, but our team earned it.
No, we
This is
carried it.
we. This is
You know what?
we.
We
This is a
carried it.
we
Yeah,
effort.
exactly.
Yeah.
And now we have the added burden though of needing to explode as a podcast so that we can send Hung on a press pass to next year's Super Bowl in Las Vegas, right?
Las
That is the
Vegas.
point. Hong, why? Wait a minute. We agreed on Hong.
Well, yeah, she lives
Yes,
like
Hold
you
on, hold
two
did.
on, hold
minutes
You
on,
did.
away. She lives like two
hold
minutes
on,
away.
Right?
hold on. If
Oh,
anyone's a
you all
Vegas,
you voted on this. You
if,
voted on this already.
if anyone's a Vegas veteran in here, it's me. I should be the one to go.
You what?
Okay.
I disagree. I disagree.
We'll
I
table this. This
disagree.
is all. This is off table discussion.
Those pictures and videos don't live anywhere on social media, so I highly disagree. So,
Mm.
you know,
Well, that's because what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. You
stays
know
in
this.
Vegas.
You
Come
know?
on now.
Unless you
That's the number
are
one
Chris
rule.
Lammons and anyways.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Let's not go there.
Oh, poor
Oh
guy was
man.
like 2 weeks short of Super Bowl champ attached to his resume. Anyway,
Oh
Gosh.
yeah,
I
Herbie.
Wait,
digress.
you know what?
Yeah,
I
but no,
think he
y'all voted.
actually doesn't he still get a ring because he was on the Chiefs
What?
Yeah,
for
he
the
still gets
majority of the
one.
season,
He
so
gets one.
it's
Uh,
so
Oh,
it's so weird what the rules are around rings. Like I think you have to spend at least half the season with the team and then you can get a ring. But also people like Melvin Gordon are going to get a ring. Like it's
Matt Amendola
true.
is getting
And
a ring. Matt Amendola played one game for
shut
us.
up.
He's getting a ring.
he's getting a ring. I think
Yeah.
What about
yeah.
Matt Wright?
You know
Does
what?
he get a ring?
I'm Googling
Mm.
all of this. I want
Y'all
to
should see my
see
face right now. I'm
who
all,
gets a. Oh, well, hey, look. I just started typing in who gets a, and then it finished it with the
it's
Super
already
Bowl ring.
been searched quite a
But the
bit.
the top answer is the winning team. Okay. Okay.
Oh my God. Oh duh. Oh my God, too
Um,
funny.
it's like, oh, I didn't think about that. Okay. Oh my
Wow.
goodness.
Oh, Google.
Yeah, let's see. Okay, so the winning team presents any number of rings to whoever they choose. So
Oh.
you can give it to anyone.
Alex Smith deserves a ring, and
Yeah,
I
give it to
I
yeah.
I
Aw.
completely believe. No, I'm serious about this. I've been saying this for years. Like, I think he played a big part of this development of Mahomes, and I
Mhm.
would have wanted that guy to have a ring.
Oh,
And he's the only one that picked us out of ESPN's crew last before the game.
yeah. I mean,
Give
shoot,
Alex Smith the ring.
he might be the only pundit who picked us. Just
Oh
seeing
my
I really
God,
everything we're
think.
seeing.
seriously.
And
Nah.
let's
Everybody else.
okay. Have y'all seen the collective amnesia going around online where all of a sudden it's like, wait a minute,
They
people weren't.
forgot they picked the Eagles.
Yeah, people were like, no, people
Mm.
weren't hating on y'all. Oh, did you forget that the
Oh,
Bills were the preseason Super Bowl favorites? The
right.
Chiefs were supposed to
Well,
lose
okay,
the
okay.
AFC West because we had to go against the Broncos with
To
Russell
be
Wilson
fair,
and Devontae Adams and Raiders. Yeah,
to
go
be
ahead,
fair to
Billy.
all of those
Mhm.
people, the three of us spent quite a significant amount of time shitting on the Eagles in preseason. So, I
Oh,
mean,
We didn't believe.
I'm gonna issue no,
Look,
I'm gonna issue a lot of
we admit it.
apologies. I'm gonna issue a lot of
you're right.
apologies to
You're
that,
right.
and
We
the
do
Eagles is
admit
gonna
it.
be one of those. No, I'm gonna issue some apologies. I mean, we can start with that,
Now we got
because
to
I was.
start positively here.
Let's
Come
start
on,
positive.
let's
Let's start
start
positive. You're right.
Okay,
You're
positive.
right.
okay, okay. All right, all
All
right.
right. So,
Rewind, y'all. Rewind.
right. Yeah, all right. We're doing a special edition positive yards on this one, and I hope you guys are ready for this. Commercials, favorite commercials, because I think commercial probably the second favorite part of the Super Bowl for me. And if no team I care about's in it, it's probably my favorite part.
Yes.
So I always like this, being able to watch them. So what were your guys' favorite commercials that you watched?
So
Who's
let
going
me
first?
start. I'll go first, but let me start by
Okay.
saying, at the party I was at, a lot of debauchery going on, a lot of noisiness. So when the commercials came on, couldn't really
Tough
hear
to pay
too many of
attention.
them.
Okay.
Yeah, like it was lot of activity going on. But the ones that I was able to, like, I guess I'd say, like, focus on and enjoy, I would say, I'm gonna pick two. I'm gonna pick two. My favorite commercial, the first one that I would consider my favorite. I love the Will Ferrell. I don't even know it was where I assume Netflix,
Oh, it
right?
was yeah,
Uh,
where he was playing all the different characters or whatever it was. Is that right?
yes, I
Yeah.
actually I thought that was funny, and this is coming from a guy who is not like the biggest Will Ferrell fan. I thought he was pretty funny there. Um, the second one, just because it literally got someone, and I want to ask if it got any of you guys
You're
at our
about to say
party.
my favorite one, I think.
Tubi.
Yeah,
Yes, Tubi.
I
the
flipped the
Tubi
F
one.
out.
I didn't think it would catch people like that because I'm
I
like,
flipped
okay,
out.
Well, yeah.
yeah,
Mm-mm.
All right,
I
so
was surprised.
yeah, and to take that, that was my favorite one, and the one I will
Okay,
say
yeah.
specifically because I'm at a party that we're hosting in my house. I'm literally the only person there, other than my two siblings, who was even born near Kansas City and lived here my entire life. I'm probably the only genuine football fan there. Only person who knows what's going on with half of anything whatsoever in the game itself. And of course, the Tubi commercial comes on, and people just start freaking out. They're like, "What are you doing? Why are you changing the channel?" Like as if they thought for half a second the one genuine football fan in the entire party and house would do anything to compromise watching the Super Bowl. And that's what cracked me up the most about it.
Yeah, they got people.
They
Yep,
I
got
was
they
impressed by
so
sure
that.
did.
many. Yeah.
They
Yeah,
got me, y'all. I flipped
they
that
got you.
remote real quick. Well, Brady was like, "Wait, who? Who?" I was like, "Is there a ghost? What is happening right now?" Because the remote, we're both staring at it. I'm like, and I exited the app, went back into the Fox app. That
Oh my
was,
god.
I got played. It took action.
Amazing.
That's
I
Yep.
love
awesome.
that.
What was yours,
Mm-hmm.
huh?
I would say, okay, here's my thing. Like, coming like marketing perspective, I didn't feel that they were very good as an entire unit as they have been in years previous.
Yes.
I
That
agree with
being
that.
said, Tubi was one of the more memorable ones because it caused me to take immediate action. And I didn't even know that it was a commercial until like the morning the next day when Brady goes, "Mom, we got played. That was a commercial." I'm like, "What?" Well, yeah, I didn't know because I was so on the Super Bowl high on Chiefs, I stayed off of any other parts of Twitter and social media that I didn't even know until the next morning that it was part of the whole marketing ploy for Tubi. Kudos to y'all. So that was extremely memorable. And the other one for me that was really memorable, only because, I have followed both of them for so long, but the Dunkin' commercial. Like I thought
Hmm.
that one made me chuckle. The idea of Ben Affleck working in the drive-through and then like people going through and be like, "Oh my God, you're Ben Affleck," and then J Lo
Right,
comes
J Lo
right.
through and
showing
she's
up
like,
at the end was
"What?
great. Yeah.
I thought
Okay, see,
you said you were working. What?"
sure.
Is this what you mean by
Okay.
working?
Because that was one of the
Right?
ones. Yeah, okay. So that was one of the
You
ones I
probably couldn't
couldn't
hear that one,
hear. Yeah, I
Rob.
couldn't hear it. I
Mhm.
saw I saw Ben Affleck was on there, but I guess I didn't catch J Lo because I couldn't really pay attention to the commercial. I was just, oh, it's Ben Affleck. Then went back to talking trash to my Eagles fan friend. So you know,
Yeah.
and by talking trash, I
Yeah.
was not talking trash. I was not talking trash this entire game. I was sweating. I sent a tweet out. That picture of Pedro Pascal in the Chiefs jersey. That was my face this entire game. I was just not.
Love it.
Yeah.
Love it. So yeah, those were the ones that I really remember that stuck out to me. And then I also just like as a collective, there were a bunch of celebrities that made appearances in this year. Like they like you talked about the Will Hunt with the Breaking Bad, Bryan Cranston and Aaron Paul, there was
Hmm.
that one. Like Alicia Silverstein made a, they kind of did a thing off of
The Clueless.
Clueless,
Yeah.
yep, for the Rakatan. So yeah, there were several that I was like, dang, there are a lot of celebrities. And then again, the Duncan one, Ben Affleck and J Lo. So there was like a lot of celebrity spots, if you will.
I did
Can
That
I?
stood
really
out.
like the T-Mobile one that had Travolta in it, where they were doing the play off
Oh
of
yeah, 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 yeah.
Grease. That was
Yes, the
great.
Grease homage.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah, I would say that would be the third one that I recall because I was like, oh, this is fun, and the kids are
I
like,
missed
what
that one
the.
too. Interesting. Can
So
I say
yeah,
something
yeah,
about the can I say something about the Breaking Bad one?
of
Yes.
course.
Uh I entered as we know, the Super Bowl ticket prices were like just stupid, right?
Ugh,
So
yep.
I'm not gonna lie to y'all. I tried to see if there was any way to win some. There was a couple competitions. There was
Uh-huh.
Eli Manning was doing a Quaker partnership with Quaker, right? You were supposed to post like a
Uh-huh.
TikTok video, how do you Quaker or whatever, and get a chance to win Super Bowl tickets. So I entered that. I'm not gonna lie to you. Then there was another one with Boys and Girls Club, which is a good cause, right? You
Sure.
donate to Boys and Girls Club
Right.
and you have a chance to go to the Super Bowl and hang out with Bryan Cranston. So I'm like, that's easy enough. That's for a good cause. I entered
Yeah.
that.
It's worth a couple
Um,
bucks.
yeah, and then it dawned on me: if I win, I've never seen Breaking Bad. I've never watched Malcolm in the Middle. This is gonna be the most awkward. Like you said, like a celebrity that you like that haven't seen any of their work. Like you'd be sitting there. If I had won it, right, I'd have to pull something out my ass, like from Wikipedia, on that plane ride
That
to be like,
plane flight would be full of Breaking Bad, huh? The best of,
exactly,
yeah.
Right.
hanging out with Bryan Cranston.
Oh man.
So obviously I didn't win, but I just had thought about that possibility. And then when I saw the commercial on there, I was like, oh, what I'm saying, like they got a feature, right? Like so, I definitely need to check out that show at some point. Side note, but
I've heard good things. I haven't watched
It
it
is.
myself.
Oh, you guys haven't?
I've
No.
I'm
never seen it.
surprised you guys haven't. So I binged it at one point many years back. I binged it. I enjoyed it. It was good. So I highly recommend if you have a lot of time.
Hey,
Absolutely.
we got
Well,
7 months of an off season now.
that's what I was just about to say. But yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Wait,
Can I?
Billy, did you get to share yours?
Yeah,
Yeah,
mine
Scrubs
was
this
of
the
was
yours
Tubi
for
too.
the
one,
commercial?
yeah.
Yeah,
2B1 was yours too?
Although,
Okay.
yeah.
yeah, if I really like that E Trade's bringing back the baby. I love those
Mhm.
commercials, growing
Did
up,
the
and now that they're
did
bringing
the
them
baby
back
go
again.
away?
Yeah, the baby went away for like a while, and then it might have been last year's Super Bowl or some major television event in the past year. They did like a reintroducing kind of like of the baby, bringing the baby back. It was like gosh, is one of those things where it started out as like an executive board meeting or whatever, and they're like, we need something kind of thing to
Hmm.
relaunch E Trade as a name, and so of course they like fly a helicopter out to this mansion out in the middle of nowhere, and of course it's the baby, that they're going out to recruit. It was
Ah, that's
fantastic.
funny.
And then
That's funny.
yeah, so that was like the reintroduction. It might have been last year's Super Bowl, and then this year they brought it back again. So very
Can
glad.
I
Nice.
can I
Yep.
throw the flag? I mean, I was gonna say negative yards, but I want to throw the flag on one of the
Throw the
commercials.
flag.
All right,
Go
let's hear it.
ahead.
What the hell was going on with the M&M's thing with Maya Rudolph and
Oh,
the
have you
clan
not heard
thing?
about this
Like,
whole deal?
well, I saw
Do
the lead
tell.
up, right? So
Yeah.
so to give a little background, and then Billy, feel free to chime
Mm.
in. I know that M&M's like maybe a month ago said they're getting rid of the cartoon characters because of all the backlash they've received from
Hmm.
political pundits about changing things about their characters, right? So they got rid of them. And I knew this was a marketing ploy from the start, right?
Hmm.
Like when they said that, but they said we got rid of them and we're going to get Maya Rudolph. And so then, like leading up to the Super Bowl, there was like a couple teasers were like, I'm Maya Rudolph. I'm taking over. We're changing the name to Maya's instead of M&M's. I'm like, okay, let's see where they're going with this. And you get the actual commercial, and it's like Maya's, and they taste like clams. And I'm like, okay,
The
so
clam.
what was? I don't know. It was just weird to me. I was like, what was the end game? I was expecting maybe the M&M's to break free and like I don't know, overthrow Maya Rudolph or something, but that they just ended
But and
with the
and
whole
and this
clam
seems to
thing.
be like a couple year cycle that Eminem always does, where they talk about getting rid, of
Uh-huh.
the Eminem characters. I know that this like most recent one, it seemed almost more serious because the whole like criticism about sexualizing them and all that kind of stuff. And then
Right.
like
Yeah.
like you were saying, like all the backlash they were receiving from politicians and whatever, which it turns out if you just, I don't know, walk out the doors, you're insulting someone's politician, it seems. Um, but it's, yeah. So this one seemed a little more serious, and then it's like, okay,
Don't
the second
insult
they
me.
have, yeah, the second they have, yeah, Maya Rudolph announces like the next person coming in for it, it's like, okay, yeah, this is just their ploy yet again, kind of thing. Can't wait to see what they do next time, kind of deal.
I guess I was just let down by the full presentation. I was just
Well, you
expecting it
you don't
to
want to
at
try
Yeah.
least
M&M clams? You don't want
I
to
was just
try that?
expecting at
No.
least be funny. Like, like it just
Yeah.
wasn't even funny. It was
It
just
didn't
like,
land as well
okay.
as some did, yeah.
Yeah, I was just all right, cool. Let's move on. You know what I'm saying? It
Hmm.
was like a because she's she's a Saturday Night alum. It does kind of feel like a failed sketch from Saturday Night
Hmm.
Live. Like that's
Hmm.
what that felt like. So yeah,
I can
that's why
totally
I'm
see
throwing
that.
the flag on that one. So that could be
Okay.
a new segment. We can throw the
Throwing the
flag on
flag on the
something.
flag.
Throw the flag.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hmm.
I thought of another segment too that we can talk about in a little bit, but
Sure.
um, all right. So outside of those commercials, though, this is always my favorite discussion with people too, following the Super Bowl, and we promise we'll eventually get to the football, right? Uh, so there's always, the commercials that are either funny, shocking, whatever, but then there's always new trailers for movies.
Oh
So
yeah, yeah, yeah.
what of all the trailers out there makes you most excited for an upcoming movie? It didn't have to be the best trailer or anything like that, but like what trailer came out that like got you hyped for a film now?
Let me tell you something. I am the biggest slanderer of the DC universe. Their movies have been
But,
trash. But that
but,
Flash trailer was
mm-hmm.
fire. That looks good. And it's crazy to think about. And it makes me mad, actually, because you think about all the stuff happening in the background with Ezra Miller and like the
Mm-hmm.
mess that they can't even create like their own, like a coherent universe and stuff. And I'm like, bro, this looks cool. This movie looks cool. I'm mad I'm gonna go see this. I'm gonna go see this and knowing it really has nothing to do with anything because in a few years they're scrapping everything before. I don't know. It's just and then Norton just the Ezra Miller is just such an asshole. You
Right,
know what I
right.
mean? But I'm like, damn, man,
The
where was
Flash.
this energy? Where was this energy all all along? Because I don't know how you guys feel about this. Maybe I'm just like ranting. And people, if you're listening, I know we'll get to the sports in a little bit, but let us know how you feel about the DCEU. I'd like to hear it. I've thought all those movies are trash. Like Justice League is trash, Wonder Woman is trash, Batman vs Superman is trash. I think Man of Steel is okay,
We're gonna
but
have to do a whole sidelines, I think, on the DCU.
okay,
Right.
I
all
I
right.
think I
And
Maybe
think
I
I'm
we
by
feel,
could
myself.
I think we could
Maybe
have
I'm by
parts one
myself.
and two. Yeah,
Okay, maybe I'm
right.
by myself on this, but like
oh
I would just
no.
say the Flash trailer is the first time I've been excited for one of
Got
their
excited.
movies.
Okay, all right. Now I'm with you.
I'm
I'm with
serious.
you.
I see.
Outside of the
I
Dark
get
Knight, obviously, the Dark
yeah,
Knight and the
right.
Batman. Yeah, so
Yeah.
those are separate.
That
See,
doesn't
I'm
one. Yeah.
excited. I get excited for all of them. Like Marvel, DC, it doesn't really matter. I feel like I get excited for all of them. I'm excited for Flash. I'm excited for Shazam 2. I didn't mind Wonder Woman. I loved it, and I think part of that though was the nostalgia, of growing up with the Wonder Woman character, Shiro character, right? She-Ra,
Okay.
So I think that's part of that too
Let me
for me.
clarify. Let me clarify.
Uh-huh.
I actually haven't seen the first Woman. I saw Wonder Woman
What?
1980.
Oh, okay,
I
okay.
saw
Yeah,
No, that's
you
1984.
where
need
you
you.
messed
All
up
right, all right.
because
Go ahead,
1984
get
was
off the
nowhere
call.
near.
Hung and I will
Right.
handle the rest of this. Go watch the first
Yep.
Wonder Woman.
You
Yeah,
got an
yeah.
assignment.
That
Yes,
one
yes.
that one wasn't good. That one
The
wasn't
second
Yeah.
good.
one was
No,
not
I
good.
will. No, it was not. But the first one, ooh, yeah. Yeah.
I'm
They
gonna have to
did
check it out.
justice
Yeah,
I'm gonna check
no,
it out.
the
we're doing this for
yeah,
one of our sidelines for sure. Talking
we
about
sure are.
Absolutely.
We
MCU.
sure are. We'll save that one for real in depth, y'all. Yeah, we'll get into that.
Okay. One more thing I want to say about the movies, and then one of y'all can go. I'm super excited for Fast X.
Okay,
That looks like
Oh
the
my god.
end game of the Fast and Furious series,
right.
and I'm all the way in.
I'm just
Can
waiting for them to announce that the whole Fast and Furious saga has been a lead up to announcing that it's a prequel to Triple X, because it really just feels like that's where it's going.
Nah,
And
bro,
we already
they're
got
going
Fast
to
and
team up
Furious
with.
X, so come on, Triple
They're,
X.
nah, bro, they're going to team up with the Transformers.
Oh,
That's the next
even
step.
oh yes, all right.
That's the next step.
I would pay up to $50 for a ticket to see that. I think that would be
dude.
amazing.
Oh my
They're
gosh.
superheroes now. They're basically superheroes. I was shocked there was a race scene in the trailer. I was shocked.
Oh man. I have to say the one I'm shocked you didn't say, Rod, knowing you, is Air. I really thought you would have been
Eh,
all over that.
Yeah.
Cause
eh.
really,
I'm excited. See,
I'm
yeah.
all in on it.
I think because they can be, I don't know, when they like kind of redo these biographies in movie form, it's really hit or miss. Like I'm
Right,
excited to see it, to see what angle of the story and his life
right.
story that they capture. I'm excited to see that. But yeah, there's a part of me where I feel like a little bit hesitant about its direction.
Let
Really?
me say
Oh,
this.
I'm all in. Yeah.
Let me say this. Yes, I do plan to see it. I'll
For
probably wait
sure.
for it to come out. I know that story pretty well. The
Hmm.
whole like
Mm-hmm.
signing of Michael Jordan and the process that went into it. There's a whole documentary, Phil Knight, on ESPN 30 for 30. What is it called? Shoe Dog, or that's his book. Um, man, I wish I had that in front of me. But there's a whole story about let me pull it up. Yeah, Phil Knight's book is Shoe Dog, but that's actually not what I'm talking about. Um, sorry guys, this is great podcast listening.
Hey, there we go.
Yeah. Um, what is this called? Soul Man. Soul Man. So ESPN 30 for 30 Soul Man
Is it
about Sonny
SOLE?
Vaccaro. SOLE, yeah.
Okay.
About Sonny Vaccaro, and it kind of talking about how he kind of helped influence Jordan into signing with Nike. Phil Knight, Shoe Dog, he obviously talks about that in that book. And then, of course, episode 5, this is how you know I watched this documentary way too much. Episode 5 of The Last Dance, they go into that whole story too.
They
I
do
know
go
that
into it,
story.
yeah.
Yeah, I know that story. So it's just like seeing Viola
Okay.
Davis and whoever else. Like there was a bunch of
Oh,
A-listers in that
yeah.
trailer. I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, I'll check it out, but it's not like, oh my god, I got to see that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for me,
Yeah.
it is almost more than anything else the fact that it is Affleck and Damon in a film together. Because I really feel like I'm trying to even rack my brain of any time they've been on a big screen together in a movie I didn't like, or like a lot
That's
Yeah.
fair.
even.
That's fair.
Because I think when those two team up, they're fantastic. Of course, we got Jason Bateman in there as well, like you said, Viola Davis. Like it's a
Quite the
great
cast.
cast. Yeah. So
It's a great cast.
it'll be
Definitely a great
really interesting.
ensemble cast. Yeah, so that could
I'm
go either
intrigued.
way.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely
Uh,
some potential Oscar bait, I guess you could say.
yeah,
Oh
heavy
yeah.
on that for sure, but yeah, no, who knows? Interesting. Because I don't know as much about this story. I mean, I know Jordan pretty much kept Nike alive and everything like that.
Yeah,
But like all the nitty gritties and stuff. What I saw in Last Dance. I haven't watched. What was it? Soul Dog
Soul
or
Man.
Soul Man. So I may have to check that one out too. I love a good 30 for 30.
It's a good
Um,
one. It's a good one. I liked it.
the other one that was tied right up there with me, and I hate to be admitting this just because of how poor the last one was, but the next Indiana Jones.
No,
I think the
don't want
trailer
to say that
I
either.
think the
Oh, I
trailer
haven't
captured
seen that
me.
trailer.
Yeah,
No,
I think it
that
got me
man way
Okay.
too
hooked.
old to be jumping out of planes, man. No, I
I
don't know.
know, but he's like forever young.
Right.
He's
You
He
not.
know?
certainly
No, he's
treats
not.
himself
But
like
no,
it.
he's not. But yeah, exactly. It'd be like Tom Cruise forever doing stunts and crap, you know?
Which he's still doing. Give it time.
Right?
As
But
soon
the
as
difference, yeah, the difference is when Tom Cruise is running on screen, it looks like he's running, whereas Harrison Ford looks like he's doing the old man shuffle quickly.
Yeah.
they
But
got a body double that entire movie, I guarantee you.
yeah, I mean, I love the first three Indiana Jones movies. I mean, hell, the first one alone is
I
pretty
enjoyed
great.
them too.
There is that whole
Hmm.
little pedophilia angle that's a little,
What?
but whatever. We'll ignore that.
What?
Um, oh no,
Which
it's
What?
movie was you watching? Hold
no,
on.
no.
Hello?
Okay,
What?
so
Hold
do you?
on.
Yeah, do we need to take five
What?
seconds for this? So, Miriam,
Obvious.
his love
Yes.
interest in the second one. All right, right. Talking, when they're in her bar at the beginning of the film, she says something that's like, it wasn't weird when you loved me 5 years ago, kind of thing. Well, it was established also in that movie that she was like about 20, 21. So when he was initially in love with her,
Oh.
she was below the age of 18 as a character. And the
Oh.
most mind-boggling thing though is like later on after the film's been out for a while, all that kind of stuff, some journalists did ask Spielberg and Lucas about it, and instead of just doing a whole, oh yeah, we didn't think about that, we didn't do the math kind of thing, they just doubled down on it. So um, yeah, no,
Oh
it's
my.
a really interesting thing. It's not even like a fan theory, it's just like, yeah, yeah, we goofed
It's
kind
fun.
of thing.
And it's
um
funny when you revisit
Oh
movies from like
dang.
the 70s and 80s, like the stuff they got away with back
yeah,
then
that
is
they
is wild.
they just kind of
Even
goofed
up
on
to the
it.
Right.
early
That's
2000s, like
ooh.
even if you watch
Yeah.
something, this is a whole. Sorry, guys, we're going to get to the movie, but just like stuff like White Chicks, they wouldn't make White Chicks today. They wouldn't make
Could you
what's it called?
imagine?
Tropic Thunder today. There's a
Oh
lot of
Oh
stuff
man.
that,
God.
yeah, but
Yeah,
that's a whole
but
other day.
I love that original trilogy of Indiana Jones, and to see him come back, I just hope they kind of write off Crystal Skull, because Crystal Skull really was bad. Just
I don't think I've seen it.
don't. I mean, yeah, terrible. So I really hope this is good. If it's not good, I'm kind of done with any more sequels that they do, probably. But hey, I think it has. I like the look of the trailer, so it obviously did its job.
Yep, yep.
What
All
about you,
right.
Hung?
Um, on like I'm down to see any movie. You guys know this, but I did not. I don't think I saw the Indiana Jones trailer. I missed that one. And then I saw the Fast and Furious one, but no, the I can't remember where I was going with this. But no, I mean, I will go see it. I'll see it because I will, because I do like the Indiana Jones movies. So I will definitely go see it. But yeah, I mean, I'm down to go see any of them. I've been disappointed in
Hey.
movies more than once.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, I'll pay for the tickets and the overpriced
We'll
snacks
feed the
and
machine.
yeah,
Yeah, they know what they're doing.
exactly. Mm-hmm.
All right.
All right. Well, should we talk
So
about
yeah,
the thing that kept interrupting our commercials?
the main
Oh,
event.
oh, the thing.
That
Woo,
thing.
let's talk
Thing.
about it.
Let's
It's
get
what
into
everybody's
it.
been waiting for.
Look at
Let's get
that.
into it.
Um, yeah, Super Bowl champs. Number
You
Two,
guys.
it's
3-time
three
Super Bowl
times,
champs.
2 times in the last 4 years. That's what's really
Two.
kind of just grabbing me,
Right.
I,
And like,
Remember?
and and I get there, the talks about how because of how Patrick Mahomes plays and the kind of quarterback he is, he may not have the as lengthy of a career as Tom Brady will, for example. But like to be able to just still sit in this moment and to enjoy what we have and become that fan base now that people are like rolling their eyes and groaning at.
We're the new
It's crazy.
Patriots. We get to be the
It's
new
crazy.
Patriots. How
Right?
awesome is that?
But at
Right.
least we got there with integrity and honesty. I don't know. There's always that bit.
Oh,
Oh,
I
100%. There's no
You know what I
Spygate.
mean?
There's no Tuck
Right.
rule. Like people, I get where. So I've seen a couple people. I've seen some people online saying, "Okay, we get it now, Pats fans. People will blame
Hmm.
everything on you guys for cheating and all this other stuff."
Right.
And yeah, I mean, there's maybe some things that I would say if we were to go back and look at them, like, okay, maybe we're just hating a little bit, but there were some legitimate, like Spygate. That's legitimate, man. Like, I'm gonna let the Deflategate go. Me personally, at least, like,
yeah.
I don't think it gave them that much of an advantage
Well,
against
they
the
only
Colts
got
or
caught
whatever.
because he threw an interception. Like
Right, right,
that. Yeah, that's my laugh about it.
yeah.
It's I wouldn't be surprised if something came out about the Chiefs, and the reason is because there's 32 teams in the NFL, and 32 of them cheat. You know, it's the whole
Hmm.
thing with
Uh,
like, we're talking about Chris Lamons earlier, and him being signed by a team we were just about to play. Why did they sign him? They didn't sign him because they wanted him on the roster. They signed him because they wanted the playbook. And teams do that left and right. Spygate. I think the issue with the Patriots is not that they were cheating; it's just that they were so stupid they got caught cheating. Um, and
I mean, it
it's
worked for him though.
hey,
It worked for him for
hey,
20 years.
it,
So,
right.
so
So
who's the
it's
stupid one? You know what I mean? Like
it's just like
them
even
or us for not catching them. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you
no,
off.
no,
But I
no,
was just
you're
saying,
fine.
who's a dumb one? Them or us for not being able to catch on to it sooner? You know?
To
So
catching it
Hmm.
sooner. And it's there's just so much money involved that there's no way every team's not trying to do a little bit of something to get an edge. Um,
Yeah.
I mean, what was Patrick Mahomes injected with in order to come back so quickly from that injury, right? Or all
Dude,
this kind of stuff.
you
adrenaline.
know he didn't feel a damn thing
Yeah,
after
and
halftime.
and so it's yeah, he was okay. He was on cloud nine. No, every team's doing something to bend the rules, and it's fine because at the end of the day, the NFL's scripted, so it doesn't really matter.
Oh
Um,
my god, not you too.
no, and so that's why I've never really like bought into the whole evil Patriots thing. And of course now it really does help. Like I think what you were kind of alluding to is, everybody's pointing out every single call that the refs made this year that went in favor of the Chiefs. So obviously the Chiefs are doing something to get away with it by paying off these refs and blah blah blah. And I'm just sitting here like, did you guys not see us like, the 5 years before Mahomes where every single call we got in our favor this year was a call we got against
Hmm.
us, that year. Um, so that's why I've never really bought into it with the Patriots, and
Mm,
now we're also seeing it come at us from the Chiefs' perspective. And hey, keep crying. We got 2 rings
see,
now.
and I'm gonna say I don't necessarily agree with every team cheat because if that were the case, then like we'd see the Cowboys in the Super Bowl every year. You don't think they're trying every single advantage to get to where they're at? They
Right.
can't do it. When it came to the Patriots dynasty specifically, there were just certain specific instances. Like if it comes out that Andy Reid was committing some Spygate stuff, yeah, that's a whole other discussion. But
Mm-hmm.
I think the main gripe people have had with us specifically is what you just alluded to is refing. Like people
Yeah.
are just thinking we're getting favorable calls. They're not saying we're out here recording teams practices or things like that.
Yeah.
If that ever becomes the case, then that's a different discussion. But the way we're doing it now, I mean, like I said, they're like you said, they're going to look at every single call that we got in our favor. They're going to ignore all the calls of those last 5 years, as you said, but also the ones that we didn't get in our favor this year.
Yeah.
There's been
Right.
plenty,
Plenty.
There's
there's plenty of
plenty.
tape where we get like a non-roughing the passer call where they just threw Pat on the ground, like it's just. But like
Or
other teams get the same call for the exact same play, like you know what I'm saying, like so.
and I
Hmm.
mean, I don't know how closely you're watching it. I was just doing it out of curiosity because everyone was talking about it. Lane Johnson. Half of everyone out there on Twitter, talks about the fact that he jumps off side or false starts every single snap. And
Right.
I'm watching
Mm,
him as like, it's so close, it's hard to tell. I'm sure if you were to like do frame by frame, you could probably call him false starts on almost every other play on him. But he's just that good of a right tackle and that good of a football player that he knows the cadence of his quarterback snap count, that he can
Right.
jump just that little bit early. And if we're going to be,
Just enough.
yeah, that nitpicky, the game stops being fun. It's just the only
Yeah.
people who are going to be complaining about it are the losers. And yeah, it's just, hey,
It's already
sorry.
it's already there.
Oh
I
yeah.
mean, we'll definitely dive into the nitty gritty of the
Hmm.
sketchy calls, but you even say like sketchy calls that they called in favor of us, or sketchy calls that got called in favor of the Eagles
Right. Or missed
on
calls or
Sunday
yeah,
night.
whatever.
Yeah, and I'm sure we'll dive into each one. But
If we want to be here for 4 hours, we absolutely
right, well,
can.
maybe not each one. We'll dive into the
No, no,
biggest
I get what
ones.
you
I'm
mean.
about to
No,
be
Yeah,
yeah.
asleep, y'all.
Right,
right,
Like,
right,
right.
right, right.
Hungs out.
so,
Yeah, Mama got to get her rest. So let's, but
Let's move this to
keep
the
these boys in
exciting.
line.
yeah. But let's talk about what are I guess you guys's let's start with this. What are like what were some of your favorite moments from the game?
Ooh, Butker missing the field goal.
What was your favorite
Oh my
moment from
God.
the game?
One
You
of
know
it
that he
just.
was gonna say that.
I was on Twitter. I think that's the fastest I've opened my phone
Oh my
ever.
gosh.
I no,
Oh, that
I'm just.
was we were talking favorite moments, Billy. What the
Well,
heck?
because it continues to feed my campaign here.
Oh my
No,
Right.
god.
it's I think all right, favorite moments. Because yeah, we're
Favorite
definitely going to be
play,
talking
favorite
about favorite
moments.
play, favorite moments. I think my favorite thing about this, because it was just one thing that was such a concern for me over the past 2 weeks. We fed Pacheco the ball. I
Yes.
loved that we did that.
Balanced attack.
And hey, look, we won. We
Yeah.
won. We gave him the ball. Like he might be the second best weapon we have on our team behind Travis Kelce. I think there's definitely an argument for that. I hope the enemy figures out a way to get him the rock more and more because dude had 15 carries and 76 yards against one of the best run defenses in the league. Um,
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
dude, this is
I
how
don't
we're
even
going
think
to
it's
win
might be.
games.
I don't even think it's might be. I think he is definitely the second best weapon.
Oh, I
And
only say
the
might be because he might be better than Kelsey for us.
I'm not going that far. Yeah, I need to see more.
Need
But
more.
I would say he's the biggest steal from the
Yes.
draft.
Yeah.
100%. Like,
Absolutely, 1,000%.
yeah, swiped from the man playing chess when we're all playing checkers, Brett Veach over here.
Brett Veach.
It's just like you look at this guy. This guy looks like a first rounder the way he was playing. Like this way he's been playing all season.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
especially once we were able to start feeding him more after CEH went down, because he was definitely playing third string, at that time, and then
yeah,
dude stepped up when CEH went down, and not only became second string, he became our first string back.
yeah.
Um, just absolute all star. And so really glad to see that. Hope he gets a lot more reps. And I hope also on top of that we bring McKinnon back because those two,
Oh my gosh.
I wouldn't say they're probably the
Okay.
best duo
Mm-hmm.
in the NFL right now, but they can be. And that's what excites me.
They're a great 1-2 punch, and it's like you can see how much they love each other too. Like
Hmm.
they've become brothers real quick. McKinnon just he knows that Pacheco is the young guy. He knows Pacheco's going to do carry most of the work, but
Hmm.
he's right there to support him. He's right there to give him veteran advice, and he's right there to step in when he's needed as well. So I've been loving their dynamic all season.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And another thing, since we already brought up Jarek McKinnon's name and everything, can we talk about this dude's selflessness
Oh,
Selfless. I need that
in this
picture.
game?
I
oh
need
my
I
Right?
need the
God.
picture where he
You,
kneels down. I'm putting
So
that in my sports room, my
like,
media
I,
room.
I won't lie.
tears
I'm a
in my
little.
eyes at this moment.
I
Like, when you think of like the big picture of what this moment means, right? And
mhm.
what it could have meant for him in his career and his personal self. But oh,
No,
wow.
it's
Yeah.
I without a doubt probably the best play of the game. Or smartest play, we could probably say.
Yes.
I was a little
Smart.
peeved because I had a $5 bet riding on us scoring 41 plus points, and if he had walked that in,
Boy.
I would have walked away with $80. Uh,
Dang.
so it's fine. It's fine. It's whatever. I'm not going to
Mhm.
complain about it too much because we won the Super Bowl, and it was, yeah, and it was the smartest play without a doubt on the field because he could have walked
I
that in, no problem.
I lost
Mhm.
everything I bet on this weekend for the
Oh,
Super Bowl.
yeah.
But
I see.
I didn't win anything. I didn't win anything.
See, I'm not too mad because I still walked away with about $650. So,
Oh, nice.
yeah,
Must be nice.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Right?
So yeah, I can't complain too much, but man, yeah, when he went down, I was like, no, no, okay, guys, just pound it in, waste time and then
It's
pound it
so
in.
funny. I wish I
Um,
had seen you during that time.
oh yeah, I was a
We're
little.
cheering, and there's one guy. Damn it!
No, just yeah. No, I was very, very happy he did that because,
Yeah,
I mean, yeah, it's what won us that game.
absolutely, absolutely. I have yeah. If we're talking about favorite plays or what you think is the play of the game, that's definitely one of them. My favorite moment in what I think is the play of the game is Bolton's touchdown, because up to that point
Ooh,
that was a
baby.
momentum changer. That was a momentum
Momentum.
changer
Oh,
for us.
see,
So
no,
Yes, sir.
I think I actually run a little bit counter to you here for one
okay,
reason and one reason only.
Okay.
okay,
It kept the defense on the field. What the
that
Yes.
did
first
it
the
did keep
first
it. Yeah.
half was like what 21 minutes of possession for the Eagles, so we had about 9 minutes.
Yes.
Sure, we went
Oh,
in
Mhm.
and the game was still really close, all that good stuff. It was great, but it gassed our defense. If for no other reason than they had to go right back out and start playing defense again. I'm not saying he should
Right.
have run the
right.
ball out or anything like that by any means. It's just funny that it's like the Eagles team is so focused on possession and then we get a defensive touchdown, which means our defense has to keep playing. And like the
Hmm.
way
Right.
the Chiefs win is by having Mahomes on the field. So by getting a defensive turnover for a score, we almost hurt ourselves, kind of thing. Um,
Right.
I do think like there is a scenario where if that had happened in the second half, we lose the game because of just like that possession time difference was massive.
Hmm.
Hmm.
But also, I love a defensive score. I mean, come on,
Oh gosh.
But
who doesn't?
here's my
It
thing
was.
about that though.
Mhm.
Mm,
I hear what you're saying, but like up to that point, offense was flat. Offense was coming
mm,
out
Right.
pretty
yeah,
flat, and defense they were giving up big third downs and everything, but they were. I mean, I don't. So when it comes to like some of these elite teams, our defense is to me always, at least this season, been what we asked them to be. They've been a middle of the road, bend but don't break defense. So when
boomer
it came to
bust. Yeah.
Joe Burrow, yeah,
Hmm.
Joe Burrow throwing it down the field, I'm expecting him to make those plays. I'm expecting Jalen to make his plays as well.
Hmm.
And I think our defense did pretty well. Up to that point, I was expecting the offense to do a little bit better than they were doing that first
Yeah.
half, which they weren't putting points on. So I do think
Hmm.
they players say it all the time. Momentum is huge in this game. So I do think that was a big little boost of confidence they needed. And you're right. It did probably gas them on the next play, but at least it was getting us points on the points on the board, and I think they were crucial points, especially toward the end of
Absolutely.
this game.
Absolutely.
But
Oh,
yeah, it was fun stuff. Fun stuff. I was stressed out this entire game. I want to pull up some stuff that I want to shout out to a few things. And yeah, I mean, there's not like a whole. We don't, as you can see, people. There's not like real notes on the board. We just won the Super Bowl. It's kind of a loosely formatted show. But I did want to highlight some things that I thought was like amazing. Right, our
so
offensive line, man, isn't
I
it
was about to say
crazy?
yes. Yes.
Okay, yeah. Gave up 0 sacks. Look how far we come compared to 3 sacks given up against Tampa in the last Super Bowl. Man,
And
they
what we
did their
spent
thing.
2 weeks hearing about this defensive line being,
Yeah,
the best pass rush in the NFL and all this kind of stuff. 0 sacks. And our
yeah.
quarterback, frankly, wasn't 100%, right? Especially
Further-
after that one tackle where he was hurt. Like, it's very easy that he, would have had to stay in the pocket, anything like that, get to him, that kind of deal. Yeah, our offensive line, and that's what was going to actually lead me to wanting to do a possibly a new segment. And this would have to be like football season specific. Where State of the
sure.
Kingdom, I think something we could explore doing. You guys shoot this down if you want to. Statesman of the game, where we
Yeah,
talk
Mm.
about one person. Doesn't even have to be a player, could be a coach, could be executive, whatever you want. Just one
Okay.
person who
I
had
like it.
like it doesn't have to be numbers, it doesn't have to, just whomever you want to nominate as like your valuable person, right? For the
Hmm.
game. I mean, and then I'm already going to go ahead and cheat. Yeah, the five guys up front. I mean,
Yeah. Okay.
are you kidding
Yeah.
Yeah,
me?
I was gonna say let's do that today. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, the five guys up front. Man, there's just so many options, man. Like, obviously Mahomes is the MVP. It's funny you even brought this up because I was thinking about saying who you guys thought your game MVP, not named Mahomes, would be.
That's
Yeah, the
on our
five guys
next
up
slide.
front.
Yeah, that's on our next slide, so
Do we
we
wanna,
can,
do we want
yeah.
to go into flip to the next one?
Well, I mean, I think we just just to talk about the offensive line a little bit more, or
Sure.
is that somebody who you want
Yeah.
to nominate for your MVP? Because, I mean, seeing some of the videos, especially what Mitch Schwartz is putting out there on Twitter, two guys in
Hmm.
particular, Trey Smith and Wiley. I mean,
Mm.
Yes, Wiley
yeah,
for
Wiley
sure in
was
this
just
game.
a monster. Yeah,
You
I
saw
mean,
him pancaking people, man. That
yeah.
man was
Heck
possessed.
yeah.
Yeah, well, and
Oh
then
my
you want to talk
gosh, that
about
was
another
great.
pancake. Have you guys seen the fantastic clip of Trey Smith pulling off pancake blocking, whomever it was, put him flat down, and then Travis Kelsey made the mistake of walking in front of Trey Smith, and who must have just been seeing red, and he knocked Travis Kelsey over too.
No, I
Oh
didn't
yeah,
see.
no,
No.
it was absolutely hilarious.
What?
He just got done shoving whatever Eagles player it was to the ground, and I don't know what happened or it just miscommunication or whatever. But Kelsey's coming around Smith, and Smith just checked him right on top of the Eagles player too, and it was
How did I miss that?
amazing to see. Yeah. Oh my God.
Oh my gosh.
I'll see if I can
That's
find it and
amazing.
I'll shoot it around.
Yeah,
But
yeah, I'm trying. Okay, please do.
yeah, it's just because you could tell it's like it was purely an accident. But I mean, dude was seeing red, and I mean, he was knocking anyone who got in front of him over.
Nice. Yeah, they did their damn thing. But yeah, we could if we're doing that on the
Yeah.
next slide, we'll call
Yeah.
that our official inaugural statesman nominees. And I got one. I already mentioned them, but yeah, we can definitely get into that.
Yeah, so I'll let you guys start, but mine's number one bullet point. So who do you all have as your alternative MVP, if we'll call it that, I guess?
Yeah. There's a lot of choices. There's a and we'll definitely dive into your number one bullet point in the game. Uh guys made plays, man. Guys made plays. I think that 65-yard punt by Tony was crucial.
I'm still not
I
sure
think the
how he
McKinnon
didn't
kneel was
return that.
crucial. I know, right? But I'm giving it for me it would have been Nick Bolton just because he was all over
Mm.
the field. He was all over the field last night, or
All
Sunday night.
over.
Yep. MIZ.
Mm-hmm.
I'll give y'all credit.
I,
Y'all got us a good
ZOU.
one. Y'all got us a good one. And that defensive touchdown, again, I do feel like that was a momentum swinger. That was the start of the turnaround.
well, and not just
So
that one defensive touchdown, but almost a second one.
almost two,
Yeah.
and that's one of the
Yeah,
calls.
that. Mm-hmm.
That's one of the calls is like, do we want to call that incomplete? I don't know, but
Yeah.
yeah,
Any given
officially it
day
was just one.
that call goes one way or the other, and he has two
Yeah,
touchdowns. But
yeah, yeah. But that's mine. That's mine. Nick Bolton played his ass off. All the guys did, but he was one that stood out to me.
what about you, Hung?
He definitely stood out to me too. Absolutely. Just again, like Rory said, he's a fellow Mizzou alum. Eyes on him, but like he has just really brought a special um I don't know, just a special pizzazz to his defensive playing every single game, especially in these last many weeks. And he really brought it this game here with the scoop and score and then almost the second one, right? So I
Sure.
loved watching him play in this game. Absolutely loved him. But Trey, you already said it with the offensive line, but Trey Smith was an absolute beast. And I found that play that you were talking about. Holy cow, just absolutely phenomenal. But I feel like we have to give props to the defensive line too, especially playing against the Eagles O line
Yeah.
and with the way that they play and
Hmm.
the Eagles line like lines up so low and so in I don't know, it pushes our defensive line to play at an even different level than we've been playing. You know what I mean? I know we got called on a few calls for jumping a little bit early and everything else, but man, just the way that they were forced to play because of how the Eagles line up in formation. So I would say big props to them as well.
I, wa-
Absolutely.
I can agree with you there a little bit. I think both offensive lines won compared to the defensive lines. I mean,
Hmm.
anytime we knew a sneak was going to happen, it was like, all right, just give them 10 yards. I just give them the first down because those guys are playing rugby out there. The Eagles' offensive line, they absolutely kill it. And I understand because I haven't watched many Eagles games this whole year. I'm suddenly getting it
Hmm.
on the New Heights podcast why Jason Kelsey's just like, yeah, let's just run quarterback sneak every play. I'm like, yeah, you guys do it so good. I mean, it's ridiculous how low those guys get to the ground, and it was great. But I do also
Yeah.
agree with you though. our defensive line played good enough that it occupied their offensive line from being able to go to the next level and really do the devastating things that they're known for doing.
Hmm.
Whereas their defensive line didn't do that to our offensive line, kind of thing.
Right,
Um,
right.
so we had the better offensive line unit for sure, but I still think their offensive line played better than our defensive line. It's just we were doing enough in order to allow Bolton and Gay and all of our fantastic secondary players to do what they were doing.
Yeah. Yeah. In the Eagles, they've this year 41 attempts a QB sneak, 37 first
It's
downs,
disgusting.
9 touchdowns, 15% of all TDs this year.
It's
So they're
insane.
good at that. They're good at that. Yeah,
Yeah.
and they proved it last night or Sunday night. I keep saying last night, but Sunday night.
Well, yeah, because I cannot
Look, you haven't
imagine.
slept, so,
Right.
Well, yeah, because I can't imagine just the physical capability it takes to block, on those QB sneaks to block Noddy, Jones, and Saunders, right? Like those are three of the
Right.
largest human beings I know in existence, and
Right.
for them to be able to just boss them around on those QB sneaks it's wild.
It's dope. But yeah.
Um, yeah,
But let's talk about your hot take MVP here.
Jalen Hurts got
hmm
cheated. I think that's all I can say.
Mm,
Jalen Hurts was
mm.
by
Okay,
far and away the
in
best
the
football player.
history of the Super Bowl, has there, what
Yeah,
kind of
There's
an
only
award
one.
would you come up?
there
Yes?
there's been
There's only
one
one.
player who has
There's
won it
only
One.
one.
from the defensive team. Yeah, it's I
Ah,
because I researched this because I was curious too. He was actually
okay,
also the
okay.
first defensive MVP in Super Bowl history.
Wow.
Chuck Howley with the Dallas Cowboys when they played the Baltimore Colts in the Super Bowl. This was I think 84, 86, somewhere around there.
There was no
Wow.
way it was in the 80s. It had to be in the 70s. The Baltimore, wait, Chuck Howley?
Yeah, is it the 70s? Maybe it was the
I
70s.
think it's the 70s.
I
Yeah,
should
let
have
me
written
I'm
pull
it
it up
about
down.
real
to
quick.
Yeah,
pull
I
it
should
up
have
real
written it down.
quick.
He actually made the
Super
Hall of Fame this
Bowl
year, which
5.
He did. He
What?
did.
yeah, Super Bowl 5, so that would have been 70s.
Hmm
So that
Um
was 1907 before that. Okay.
19s before. Yeah, so he's
Oof.
the first and only MVP from a losing team. And looking at his stats from that game, a classic case of like, yeah, I mean, he probably did deserve it, but was it because
1971.
he played that well, or is it because just the other team was that bad and they managed to sneak out a win? What the final score is 16-14, is that right?
Holy
Sixteen
cow.
thirteen.
Yeah,
16-13.
yeah. So, it's definitely cool, and I mean, still cool that also a defensive player won MVP.
Right.
But yeah, only time for that. I Jalen Hurts should have been number two. I don't see how anyone can look at the stat lines of Mahomes versus Hurts in this game and say that Mahomes deserves MVP over Jalen Hurts. Hurts. He torched our secondary multiple times. This is the first time that
Hmm.
McDuffie has been on the field as a starter, and there's been a 300-yard passer, and he's playing with a hurt shoulder.
Hmm
He
Right.
scored 4 touchdowns, one through the air and 3 through running. He had what 70? No, let me go back real quick. He had 70 rushing yards, 304 passing yards. Like, I don't know what the argument is for Patrick Mahomes to win this over him or anyone else
And
on the
here,
field.
and here's what I will say to that. And I want to start by saying, let me apologize to the Eagles as a whole because if we can go check the tape. I've been dogging them up until maybe
Oh,
like week 10, right?
same.
Like I was like,
Yeah.
yeah, they were in a weak conference, weak division. They're not playing nobody. They're a good team. They're a really good team, and
Hmm.
they're built to last. We'll see them in this conversation sometime next year. We'll see them in a Super Bowl conversation next year. Jalen Hurts is a gamer, man. He is incredible. I love the way he
He
carries
really
himself on and off the field. Man has so much swagger, plays his heart out, and he was giving his all on Sunday.
Yeah.
Um, I don't believe that the losing team player deserves to get the
See.
MVP because they lost the game.
uh
And I would say, you're saying about the stats being better, Jalen Hurts' stats being better than Mahomes.
Hmm.
They kept Mahomes off the field. He couldn't really do much because they kept him off the field, and he played. We Mahomes, which y'all don't see, or I mean, I'm sure y'all see. What I'm just saying in general. we've all in one of the, I'll say in one of the Super Bowl press conferences, Mahomes is talking about his experience playing in the Tampa Super Bowl where he's trying
Hmm.
to play hero ball. He's doing a little too much, and they wound up losing the game.
Right.
So his mentality, you could tell, was different. He's trying to play a little bit more mistake-free football. He's dinking and dunking a little bit more. He's being more careful with the ball. We saw that last night. He did take a few. He was able to extend a few plays with his legs, but for the most part, he played it pretty safe and in a way that helped us win. He also didn't make a
Absolutely.
crucial mistake that cost. I won't say they cost him the game. Like, let me rephrase that, because what cost them the game is all the blown coverages for by their defense. That's what cost them the game. But that, I think, if you play mistake free football versus the other guy, even though you're balling, you make a big mistake cost that gets the other team some crucial points. I don't think that gives you MVP. That gives you. I mean, you had a great season, definitely runner up MVP. But I mean, if you don't win a Super Bowl, I mean, like you said, that other game where Chuck Howley won, that was back in the '70s. That's back when we really didn't even know what this was yet. I don't know if you deserve to win the MVP if your team loses. That's just me.
Well, but then I
I
mean,
agree.
can we not make the same argument of why are players who aren't on a number one seed team winning MVP of the regular season?
Don't wait. What do you mean by that?
So I mean, let's look back. I'm trying to think of the most recent example, probably of this. When Lamar Jackson won MVP in 2019, the Baltimore Ravens were not the number one seed in the AFC, right? Or were
Right.
so why
Wait,
is
weren't they
he?
though?
He may have been, but let's take that as like a scenario, right? Can a player who's not on a number one seed team win MVP of the NFL? I mean, Aaron Rodgers has done it while playing on the Green Bay Packers, without
Yeah, I
being
was
number
gonna
one
say.
seed in the NFC. Tom Brady has definitely won it without them being the number one overall seed. For me, it's the same concept. It's like at the end of the day, all we're doing is awarding the quarterback of the team that won, because the frequency of a non-quarterback being MVP of either regular season or of the Super Bowl is incredibly rare and unlikely, and it feels like it's just a gimme. Um,
Yeah, and I do think it's kind of a subjective award to begin with, so it's
mhm.
really hard to like kind of break it down
But
semantically,
that's
right?
that
Like,
that's why I'm saying it shouldn't be subjective. It should be
but it's
100% objective. Jalen Hurts play, and you're absolutely correct. They were on the field 10 minutes longer than the Chiefs were, but
Hmm.
that 10 minutes wasn't wasted production. It's not like they went out there and he was out there for 10 extra minutes and then they had to punt the ball a lot. They were putting the ball in the end zone. They were playing right. His throws were incredible. It's not like he was just lobbing the ball up, missing half his passes. And then the other half happened to catch him, and that's why he got to 300 yards. I mean, his completion percentage
yeah,
was incredible. He was dropping dimes into perfect spots, like what that AJ Brown catch for what was it, 50 yards or whatever,
Yeah.
where he put it into double
Huge.
coverage right where AJ Brown could catch it and no one else could. That's an
Hmm.
MVP caliber play. Um, I just don't buy into it. It's like, okay, Mahomes was on the field less, and that's why his stats were lower. So, well, then why wasn't he on the field more? You
their
know,
defense is playing this. Yeah, they're doing that thing.
So
Um,
that's my whole thing with it though. Is like I think this is for me more of a vendetta against what the MVP is, because we should just start calling it the QVP, the quarterback valuable player, right? Or the most valuable quarterback, because that's all it ends up being. And especially in the Super Bowl, the fact that it doesn't go to a losing team's player more is pretty frustrating, because I mean those low scoring games, like what the one between the Patriots and the Rams where it was 10-3. How did a
right.
defensive player not win MVP in that game?
Yeah,
True.
I gotta disagree. I think when it comes to the Super Bowl, like what you were saying about the regular season MVP, I mean
Hmm.
that's 17 games, right? That's a
Hmm.
little bit of a different conversation, but you got 17 games. There's a lot more wins than losses during that time. But talking about the Super Bowl games where there's only one. If you didn't help your team, if you didn't help your team win the game, I don't think you're the most valuable player for the Super Bowl.
That's
And you
fair.
Mm.
tried to help your team win the game. He definitely tried to, and that's what I'm saying. I don't want to
Hmm.
disrespect.
Uh-huh.
I have
Yeah.
nothing
Oh,
but respect for
absolutely.
Jalen Hurts, but that's why I don't think he's the MVP. That's just all I'm saying.
Okay.
And Hung, do you have any thoughts either way?
No, I mean, I think it would be weird for that award in the Super Bowl to go to a non-winning team member, you know? So I'm with you there. I think it would be weird for it too, even if somebody played their like lights out, like the way that the discussion is that Jalen played better. Um, but I just think that it just makes sense for it to go to somebody on the winning team. I just don't see it a different way. I just
Hmm.
like, what are you gonna do? Oh, hey, come up onto the stage, take a piece of the stage that you didn't win in, and accept your award for your performance that was great but wasn't good enough to beat this team.
Making Hurts stand up there on the
So
podium next to a bunch of
right,
That would
Chiefs
be so.
players and
Yeah,
Andy
that would
Reid
be weird.
accepting that award.
right?
Yeah,
Like
that would be
it's
weird.
awkward. I
Yeah.
mean, so I don't know. Like I feel like the Super Bowl MVP definitely, aside from that one Chuck Howley that you found and pulled up there,
Well, it's been
I don't
talked
know.
about because he
Yeah.
if you watch the NFL honors, he came on stage. That's how they announced him. They said the only super
Hmm.
defensive
Yeah.
player to win the MVP in a losing effort, Chuck Howley, and he walked on stage. So it's been a talking point this week. But
Well, because he made
yeah,
the Hall of Fame this year. Yeah.
he made sorry because he's an honor. He made the
Right,
honorary.
right, right.
He made the
Okay.
Hall of Fame. So yeah, absolutely. Uh, Former Chief Darrell Revis also made the Hall of Fame. If y'all remember
Yes,
him,
he did.
believe it or not, he played for the Chiefs at one point.
At one point, he
God.
sure did.
And what was probably the most disappointing season of his career. Um,
100%, 100%.
oh man.
But yeah, let's
And you
talk
know
about
who
this
didn't
field.
make it? Jamal Charles.
What I don't think he'll make it.
Surprising. I
I
don't think
Was
he.
he
I don't.
listed?
he
Was
was
he
yeah, he was first ballot this year.
interesting?
I
Okay.
really thought he would make
Well, there's
first
a few
ballot.
guys there was a few guys who didn't make that I thought would have.
Mm-hmm.
I thought Patrick Willis would have been in there. He was
Yeah.
a finalist.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And Darren Woodson from those '90s Cowboys,
Oh
he
yeah,
he
yeah,
was on
yeah.
there. Yeah, he also missed the mark. He was a finalist there as well, and
All
yeah, he
players who
didn't
will
make it in.
get there eventually is just
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, that's cool. I didn't know. I actually didn't know that Jamal got a nod
Yep.
because. I mean, say what you will about Jamal. I mean, he was a baller, but those teams were not that great. So
He
I
was pretty
figured
much
he
the
would
only
get that.
player on those teams. Yeah,
Yeah,
you're right.
he was the team. Yeah, he
Yeah.
was the team. So
Oh
yeah,
man.
let's talk about this
Um.
field. Slip and
Yeah.
slide.
Oh my God.
That
Well,
was a great discussion, by the way. I did enjoy that.
yeah, yeah. So, for those who didn't know, we did talk about this a little bit in our topics of discussion on the Discord. So, all the more reason to join our Discord there for sure is being able to get involved in these kind of discussions we have before the actual podcast recording, because we may bring you up.
We
Yeah,
will
the
definitely. Yes, I want to double down on that just real quick. Please give us your thoughts. I would love to hear them. I really
yeah.
would. I try to send something out every day. I would love to hear because you guys have great takes on Twitter. Sometimes. Now, I mean, so, some of y'all have
He
some really
quickly
interesting.
took that back.
Some of y'all
Hmm.
have some great takes, and I would love to discuss it on the show. So yeah, there's that. Anyway, sorry. Continue.
No, it's all good. I don't know if it hit your all circle out there in where you live, but of course the guy who grows the field for the Super Bowl spent the vast majority of his career growing the field at Arrowhead.
I heard about this.
Yeah, Kansas City guy. His nickname's the
Y'all,
Sod Father.
he,
Yeah.
yes, and it just aside, I can't remember if it's this show that I mentioned this on a couple
Mm.
years back. So I went to high school with his grandson, son,
Really?
grandson. So
Grandson, you're only
yes, so
like
it's
what,
the
24,
Toma
25,
family.
so yeah.
Ha
Yeah.
ha ha. So no, it's his son.
That's awesome.
Um, but no, so yeah, so Toma, yes, his last name is Toma, but yeah, this is the guy, and I was like, dude, we cannot. Why are we attaching his name to this? We cannot do this. So I'm gonna let you finish, and then I'm
Hmm.
gonna add what my caveat, my thinking is as to what ruined the 2 year process here.
Well, and yeah, and you without a doubt probably know more about this than me. I think it has to be something with the stadium itself. Because we saw the same issue week one where Butker got hurt kicking on this field because he was slipping and
Mm-hmm.
sliding. That whole game we saw a lot of slipping and sliding. And I mean, it seems like going back and thinking about it, you hear a lot about a lot of injuries happening down in Arizona too, because of
Mm-hmm.
players, who can't stand on their feet. There's no way I, I don't think this field in particular, grown specially for the Super Bowl, everything like that. knowing how much issue we had week one, how much issue there seems to be overall in Arizona, it has to be something with the stadium itself because it wasn't just a freak occurrence with the game, right? With this game.
You-
Yeah, I don't know.
so-
Sorry.
I was saying, so you're saying it's not Kyler Murray? That's the reason that they weren't winning games?
See, if they had just let Kyler Murray play as much Call of Duty as he wanted to, they probably would have been winning a lot more. That's, just let the
Right.
guy be himself.
Oh my god.
No, so yeah, Hung, what are your thoughts here then? Are they just leaving the
Okay.
rollers on from when they roll the game, the field
Oh
in and
my
out, and
heavens.
that's what's slipping and sliding?
Interesting.
I don't know all that detail, but like it's the grass that's grown, right? This 2 year, very involved process. And then they painted the entire field.
Mm,
They said that during some of the pregame stuff. They painted the entire field. So now they're saying, but then you're right though, Billy, that if it was attributed to the painting of the entire field, which is stupid, as
yeah,
opposed to just like the logos or whatever, and that's absurd. But then that doesn't answer the question of why the injuries week after week when games are happening at Glendale at that State Farm Stadium. So that doesn't answer that piece of the equation. But for Super Bowl, I could understand because they mentioned that the entire field was painted and players were flying all over the place.
yeah.
All
Yeah.
over.
Because I mean, the guy's been growing the field for the Super Bowl for what he left Kansas City. What was it, 15, 17 years ago, something like that. So
Hmm.
ever since then, ever since he left Kansas City, he's been growing the Super Bowl field. That's his job. That's his full-time job. We've never seen this kind of
Right?
issue beforehand. I mean, there's a reason why the NFL pays him an absurd amount of money to grow grass for one game a year, and it's because he's really good at it. And so for it to happen in this game, it's just it has to be something, and it's crazy. So I think it's like until we can figure this out or whatever, Arizona probably doesn't deserve to host the Super Bowl.
I agree with you. As
I
gorgeous
agree.
as it is, down there at this time of year and everything, figure it out.
Figure it
There's
out.
way
Listen,
too much money
listen,
invested. Figure it out.
listen. We've got turf here in Dallas in an indoor stadium. We've only had one Super
Mhm.
Bowls in the last 10 years. Come to Dallas. We're here, guys. Come on. We got a big
I'm
old,
down.
the star is bright, all that
Oh
good
my
stuff. The
God.
Cowboys
We
won't be
still
there.
wouldn't vote Raw to be the representative from State of the Kingdom, right? We
No,
would
I
vote
you
won't
can
be
me
there.
have it
Won't be
still.
still.
there.
Yeah, you can have it still.
I won't be
Okay,
there.
cool.
Yep.
Just checking.
Yeah.
We're
Democracy
gonna have to
at its finest.
we're gonna have to we're gonna fight for it.
We're gonna have to arm wrestle for this
Yeah.
Raw.
We're gonna have to UFC.
Hey, it's between you two. I'm happy to watch the game at home. So.
He's like,
Oh man.
Kate makes cookies.
Yeah, exactly. You see the food I got.
You
Oh
can buy
man.
a $25 cookie at Cowboy Stadium.
Oof,
Oh man, there's
oof.
this soccer journalist who covers the Super Bowl for the Guardian in England because she's also
Mhm.
a football fan of both natures, and so she's the one who always comes to America to cover the Super Bowl for the newspaper there. And one thread she does on Twitter every year is just posting photos of the absurd prices of different things, and it's just one of my favorite
That's
threads
funny.
every single year. It's just like
I'm following that account.
oh, you
That
need
sounds
to. Yeah. Oh, it's just great. It's just like $20 for like a pint of beer. Just seeing all the
Oh my
Europeans that
God.
follow her, like just like in an outrage on our behalf. It's amazing.
Oh my God.
Uh,
awesome.
yeah.
All right.
Nikki
Anything
Bandini,
else?
that's her name, so definitely follow her. Yeah. Any
Yeah.
other hot takes and walkaways?
I
Is
mean,
this where I get to spend a minute just complaining about Butker, or are we just not going to worry about it because we
we'll have
won?
our
No,
own
you're
kicker
done.
show.
Okay,
You're
No,
all
done.
right,
yeah,
done.
Yeah,
but
that's
but
that's a sideline.
I did want to just really quickly throw out just two things. One we saw on the field, obviously. I'm happy for Sky Moore, his first career touchdown, and it's in the
Yes.
Super Bowl. That's awesome, man. That's amazing. Um,
Big shout out.
here's here's a weird stat that I didn't know until last night. Did you guys know that Pat Mahomes is 18-2 against the NFC? And I'm assuming, I guess, the Pat Mahomes led Chiefs, right? So we're 18-2 against the NFC, the entire NFC.
What is that
Wow.
including postseason?
I imagine so. Yeah,
So
it's just
so one of those two losses is Super Bowl Tom
from
Brady. Okay.
Yeah.
yeah, it's Super Bowl Tom Brady and who else would it have
Wait.
been? I can't even think who the other team
Oh
would
my
have been.
gosh, yeah.
Did we lose against the Seahawks one year? No,
No.
it would have been The Rams. Was it the Rams, that 2018 game?
Where they just
Yeah.
destroyed us, right? Yeah, they put up
Well, it
like
was like 50-50. Yeah.
yeah,
It was like
they
52
just
to
yeah, that's
50.
right. Because yeah, we lost to them too.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's
And this is just something I
the
saw online from
shootout.
Twitter from StatMuse. So I mean, if that's wrong, correct me. Feel free to correct me in the
no,
comments. But
I'm trying to think of any other time we've lost to an NFC team. I can't.
I mean,
Wow.
I think those are
18
the
and
two.
2.
I think those are the two.
Wow.
Yeah. So isn't that crazy? That's where we are now. It's a different
Dude
world.
has ridiculous stats, and that might
Yeah.
just take the cake of most ridiculous ones.
Right. Of all the ones, yeah. He's got some wild ones, but this
Well,
just keeps
yeah,
coming
because
out.
for a while the obvious leader was the fact that he never lost a game in December and November.
Right.
But then
Mhm.
that changed this year, so now
Yeah.
that might have to take precedence. That's insane.
Absolutely.
Shoot.
But yeah. But that's all I got. Anything else, Hong? You got anything?
Nothing crazy. I'm ready for the next slide here. I'm
Let's
ready
go
for this
ahead.
show.
Let's
Little
talk about it.
halftime show. Yeah, was it good? I don't do music.
I thought so.
I thought it was good in
Yeah, I
terms
thought
of like my niece, y'all, she's 24. She's like, "Oh my God, best halftime performance ever." I'm like, "Child, please." Not the best one ever.
Sit down.
Like this was good. I was in terms of like her being able to like them taking the production staff taking and mashing together like all of her best greatest hits
Yeah.
and one after the other. I thought it was fantastic in terms of that. Outfits, costumes, yeah, they're a little weird. Absolutely. Mhm.
The slide.
And
If you're not looking at the
yeah.
slide, Hong, Billy has the costume Chinese spy balloon costumes or Rihanna. He said Chinese spy balloon or Rihanna's backup dancers.
Yeah, I'm surprised the U.S. Air Force wasn't flying over it and bombing it. Like Jesus, it's just
Right.
Right? Jeez, look. Oh my gosh. So yeah, so costumes were always were a little bit cray, but I think that's, either they're really really risque, I feel like for Super Bowl, or they're really outlandish. And so this
Sure.
definitely went on the outlandish side of things. So
Yeah.
I think my favorite meme from it is the Pillsbury Doughboys for the backup dancers and the Kool-Aid the Kool-Aid man,
Oh my God.
for Rihanna. So,
Wow,
but
making
no, overall, I
fat
thought it was
jokes
really great.
already about Rihanna and her baby bump over here. That's kind of
No,
weird.
how could people not see that she was preggers? She was totally
Okay.
preggers.
That
Okay.
did take over
So,
Twitter
yeah.
for
Let
a
me-
solid amount of
Right?
time too.
Go ahead, Raw. Right? Yeah,
I'm
there
just
were a
gonna
lot of
say.
questions.
I'm just gonna say. I was watching the game under conditions, right, on Sunday. Stress and we'll say
Stress-induced
libations. We'll say
okay, yeah.
libations. We'll say stress and libations, right? So I'm watching the whole thing, and our
Oh,
team,
Lord.
everybody on the way, we're like, "Is she pregnant?" Not me, by the way. I wouldn't even focus on that. I was
That
like,
was yeah.
I was like, when is Drake or Jay-Z coming out? I swore up and down one of them guys was coming
Right?
out. Yeah,
But
I swore they were coming out. But I'm just saying, like, real, like that. We're like guessing, right? That like my whole party, like, no, I think she's pregnant or whatever, and then she reveals it afterwards, right? But then I watched this actually today, the full halftime show. Now that I'm stress free and
libation
Sober.
free.
relaxed, yeah, exactly. I
Mhm.
watched the whole thing. She's very, I mean, first thing she does
She's
is rub her
very
stomach.
Yeah, she's clearly pregnant. Like,
That's the first thing she does. So I'm like, yeah, guys, like, what was the debate about?
all right.
Yes. Right?
Yeah.
Too
That's
funny.
what I'm saying.
Well, congrats
Yeah,
to her, man.
definitely
Congrats to ASAP. That somebody
And y'all,
said. No, I ain't gonna say what they said. Y'all should check out the
oh
memes
Lord.
about
Okay.
the little.
And I'm just gonna say, like for viewings and stuff, more people tuned in to watch the halftime show than they did the actual Super Bowl
Yep.
118 million.
Second
versus
most watched
113. Yeah.
halftime show in Super Bowl history,
was-
while being the
That's
third
crazy.
most watched. Yeah, Super Bowl. I
What was
believe.
what was the first most? Was it Michael Jackson or Prince? It's one of them two.
I think it was Prince.
It has to be.
Yeah,
I think it was Prince. Yeah.
it's gotta be one of those guys. But yeah, I thought it was a good show. It's not. It ain't no. Okay, let's be real. My favorite is Shakira and J Lo. I'm just gonna say.
Oh, that was a hot one.
I mean,
That
hey,
was hot.
they look good. I mean, but also, yeah, you had J Balvin and Bad Bunny come out because I watched that one today too. Like, like I'll put stuff
Yeah,
on
you go
YouTube.
back. Yeah.
I'll put the first one on. I put the Rihanna one on. It went straight into the Weekend, and then went straight into the J Lo and Shakira one after that. Shakira's playing the guitar. they're doing like acrobats on stage, which I mean, obviously she couldn't do that for this. Like, but I'm just
Even
saying
if she
it was
wasn't
a
pregnant on those
yeah,
risers, yeah,
Yeah.
Bad
There was
Bunny,
already
freaking
a backup
hilarious.
dancer that almost fell off.
yeah,
So,
yeah.
Raw, that performance actually was the most watched.
That's the most watched
The
for
The
Shakira
Shakira
and
J
J-Lo and
Lo. Okay,
Shakira.
Okay.
I
That
thought it was the
that was
Prince one.
I thought it
Yeah.
was really good, and I mean I'm not just saying that
I
because
loved
Shakira
it.
was
I
Shakira.
loved it.
Yeah, I'm not just saying that because Shakira is my childhood crush. I'm just saying it was a great
Oh.
performance.
Childhood crush. Come on,
Well,
man.
I'm saying that because Shakira and J-Lo are still on my
Oh
childhood
yeah,
and adulthood crush.
they
You know, like
Right?
they
J-Lo,
bad,
J-Lo
bad.
was 50. J-Lo
All
was
right,
50
so
Oh
up
like
there
when
doing
man.
I grow
acrobats,
up
man. Man,
with her
no,
body like that, whew, yeah,
Yeah.
that man, I'll throw my back out doing any of that.
right?
I swear,
Yeah,
I will throw my back out
got to
doing
give it
any.
up to them for
So
Yeah,
sure.
so no, that was a good one.
I'm trying to
Uh,
think back. Is this the first one that you guys can remember that didn't have like a secondary act?
Yes, I was so shocked. I was waiting for a secondary act. I'm with you.
Well,
I was like,
and just
what?
like just like Rob was saying, like the two topics of discussion in my household too were is she pregnant and where's Jay-Z? Like
yeah,
or, who's going to
I
Yep,
be
swear Jay-Z
the
was
he
supposed to
guest
was
be there.
host?
there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was literally there. So no, see that this was part of our theory, right? Is that Rihanna invited Jay-Z and Paul McCartney because they both, done songs with her, and just
Mhm.
forgot to include them in the act. Just
Yeah.
invited them to show up and watch the Super Bowl, and then they just like forgot to show up and do their part, right? Because I mean, yeah, it was
Wow.
Yeah.
crazy.
Mhm.
I'm gonna say no though, because the weekend didn't have a guest
Okay,
either.
that's what I was curious. I couldn't remember if the
Yeah.
weekend did.
The weekend didn't have a guest either.
Ooh,
But
yeah.
I think it was a great show.
Okay,
Personally, I thought it
can
was good.
we so going back to show like how good of the J-Lo and Shakira performance was, y'all, the
Yeah,
views on that Super Bowl, 260 million, 260 million
like
versus
live. That was
100,
live.
yes,
What? That's wild. I didn't
Half
know
as
that.
many people
versus
as watched the World Cup.
the 118, right?
How much? Wait, do you have that Super Bowl? How many people actually watched that Super Bowl?
I don't have that. I just pulled up
Because this was
the
the third
before
most
half
watched
times.
Super Bowl. That would have
Hmm.
was
This
the
was the third most watched televised event, I believe.
okay. Got you. Okay. Because
Well,
I
and then
was like,
okay.
where does the Super Bowl 54 then rank as far as
Uh-huh.
like most watched?
Mm. Well, and just to give an idea, the second most watched halftime performance was the 2022 with Dre, Snoop Dogg, Eminem, the one that we all
Which
loved,
was also awesome.
I
this
love
That
last,
was
that
a
one
great
a
yeah,
one
lot,
too.
yeah.
That was a great one too.
154 million,
So
yo.
30 more million for this? Is that right?
Yeah,
Is that the math? That's
yeah.
insane.
Hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I because like our group of friends here in Kansas City, not a lot of them are football fans. One person showed up in a Rihanna shirt, kind of thing. Like it was definitely
Right.
a case where like yeah, the demographic of the living room changed significantly when the halftime show came on for sure. Uh, and so yeah, I'm not surprised at all. 180 in second place to J Lo and Shakira, which probably did deserve most watched. I don't know if it's my favorite, but it certainly was an awesome show. Um,
Yeah,
yeah, it's
That's
crazy.
my favorite. That's my favorite. The Weeknd is my favorite
we get it,
artist.
Raw.
No, well, yeah, no. The Weeknd is my favorite artist, and I really love that show too. I just didn't
See,
love
that
that
one I
Super Bowl
wasn't
too
so
much.
into. Yeah.
Yeah.
I wasn't into it. Like him, like looking like he was lost inside a maze of mirrors. I
That
wasn't.
part was
I'm not.
weird. That part
That
was
was a
weird.
little strange.
Right? Yeah.
I just like
That's like all I remember from that.
I'm gonna be that guy. I'm gonna be that guy who is saying I like the Weeknd before he was cool, and so I like that he brought out a little bit of the deep cuts from
Yeah.
like the from the
Yeah.
trilogy. I thought that was cool.
Mhm.
So I was not able to enjoy it while watching the game because obviously we were getting our ass kicked. But
Mhm.
watching it says, well, I enjoyed this. But yeah, this one I thought this one was really good. I think I was really impressed
Yeah,
with it.
objectively watching it, knowing Umbrella, and that's it. It
That's
was
so
it was
funny.
a good halftime
That's
show.
so funny. you know, and,
And it
you
still
know,
took me a few minutes to recognize Umbrella as a song too. It's like, oh, she said Umbrella. That
Oh
must be
my
that
god.
song.
yeah.
Yeah.
No,
Oh,
Rihanna
Billy.
got bangers, man. Come on, man.
Oh,
Rihanna got some
it's
bangers.
me. It's me. Yeah. I don't listen to
We
music.
know.
Well,
We know, Billy.
my
It's
favorite
okay.
halftime show was the U2 one because I knew the songs. Like I just don't listen to.
Oh,
Yeah.
ugh.
Or yeah, when it was like what U2, Aerosmith, just
Hmm.
absolute monster of a show. which it had to be
Yeah.
considering the time it happened. But
Yeah, yeah.
you know that, and then I remember a lot of Paul McCartney's work too when he did the halftime show. My music
Oh, I hated
knowledge
that
pretty
one, man.
much, yeah, my
I
knowledge of
didn't
music
like
stops after about 1989, which is even
right,
before I'm born.
apparently. Apparently. Yeah, I was gonna say you're gonna say the Rolling Stones was like your
Right. Oh
favorite.
yeah, love that. Yeah,
Oh my gosh.
absolutely. Yeah, it's no. I have to say of the recent Super Bowl halftime shows, the only ones where I probably knew every single song was last year's because I'm such a huge
Okay.
fan of West Coast rap. But
Okay.
yeah, every other thing. Like, yeah, J Lo and Shakira put on a good show. I don't think I knew a single song. And
Uh,
yeah, when it came to Rihanna,
yeah. I
you know,
challenge you to rewatch that one just because there was a lot going on. Like there was kids running out, there was like a flag, there was,
yeah,
it was a lot.
no, it's a show
It's
for
actually
sure.
impressive.
Yeah.
It's impressive.
Right.
So yeah.
Oh man.
It was like Cirque du Soleil or something, man. Like,
Jeez. Yeah, it's crazy. So, oh, it was a fun halftime show. I'm glad it.
all right.
Do we know
Absolutely.
what next year's artist is, or that's not announced until like
That's not announced till like
No,
until way long
the
out?
no,
season.
it's a late decision because the artists like they really have to weigh in on this, y'all. They don't get paid to do the halftime performance, right?
No.
The production costs are paid for, like they pay for like the backup dancers and stuff, like the fees
Yeah.
associated with that. But like the artists themselves, they don't make any money,
Yeah.
so that's why like there are artists like we hear from time to time, like oh they asked so and so to be the artist first, and then they turned them down,
Yeah.
so.
The
Because
weekend is
isn't there
funding
a
his
whole
entire thing.
yeah, wasn't there a whole thing about Rihanna turned it down?
Being
What was it after some event? Um, but she was offered it like a few years ago, or 5, 6 years
I
right.
think
ago, or
so. And
something.
then
But there was some
Justin,
political reason she didn't do
I
it
think
for
it
a
was
good
because the
reason.
kneeling thing, right? If I
That's
got
right. It
this,
was in
I
support of
remember
Colin
this.
Kaepernick. That's what it was. Yeah.
Yes, and then
Yes.
Justin Timberlake did it instead.
Yeah.
In that wasn't
Hmm.
that same year? I could
I
have
think
this
so.
wrong.
Yeah. I think so.
Oh.
Okay,
That's what it
but
was.
yeah,
So yeah. No,
cool. What's next?
can't wait. Do I have anything else? Oh yeah, it's the zebras. Oh God.
Yeah,
Yeah.
let's
No.
go ahead and get to it.
Unfortunately, nothing happened referee wise. It's fine. Everything went great. We can move on to the next slide, right?
No. We gotta talk about it.
All right. Well, first and foremost, it was holding. I,
It was.
It was.
I mean,
It was.
It
he
really
has.
was.
The player has come out and said,
He's got his
"I
jersey.
held him." Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that's ended discussion right there. When the player who committed the foul says, "I did it," you're done. You know.
Yeah.
Um. Though I do like my point too here. Carl Sheffers should be fired. I just can't stand him. I look at him and I'm just like, ugh.
The only call, and I mean there was a lot of questionable stuff going on. I don't think it is kind of funny how everyone's focused on this holding and none of the blown coverages where Sky Moore's wide open, Kadarius Tony's wide open, Travis Kelsey's wide open. That's
Right.
what lost you on the game, guys. It wasn't the holding call, but I mean that was clear. Was it ticky tacky? I'll say this. I do think it was ticky tacky. I think if you go back during the regular season, there's plenty of times something like that would have happened and it not be called. But it was the correct call. It was right. He grabbed the jersey. I don't even like. Who's to say if another argument is that the ball was nowhere near Juju nowhere near being catchable? Who's to say? Once you throw them off their path, Shannon Sharp said earlier in his show, it takes. You can ask any wide receiver, any former wide receiver. Something like that does throw you off your path more than you might realize.
I think that's the important thing to pay attention to too, is what the penalty was. It was defensive holding. It was not defensive pass interference. Defensive pass interference doesn't count as a foul if the ball was uncatchable. That's completely reasonable. Defensive holding doesn't adhere to that rule. And I think that's what people are forgetting, because defensive holding exists simply because, like you said, it throws the player off from being able to execute their route where the ball would be catchable. Because if Juju's not held up here, if he has that extra, second of speed, that ball's catchable easily.
Right.
So that's the first and foremost thing. Though there was interesting. I don't know if any of you ran across this on Twitter. I don't know why I deserve this on my Twitter timeline at all, but it's there. Is there any room of argument to bring back DPI as a reviewable challenge?
I don't want to review anything else anymore. It's just gotten. I don't know what's a catch, what's not a catch. I don't know what's a hold, what's a pass interference. Like, I mean, maybe, but man, they just. I almost feel like the reviewing stuff is part of the problem
Needs to
because
be
like
reviewed.
yeah, because even when the reviews need to be reviewed because even
Right.
this whole thing with was it Miles Sanders was the
Right.
catch, was it or not? I
Was
thought
it?
it,
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was a catch, man, and I feel like if we didn't have to like dissect it, it wouldn't.
I I
You
feel
know what I'm
like it was
saying?
I feel like it was more of a catch than whatever that one that Dallas Goddard had, where he
Yeah,
was,
Exactly.
like
I felt like
running out of
Goddard's was not a
bounds. Yeah,
yeah. Didn't have control of it until he was already 1 foot out. Yeah,
yeah.
that was
yeah.
crazy. That
So
did not
No,
that we lost that challenge.
I'm saying no. I don't
officiating
want nothing
needs
else
an
to be
overhaul
reviewed.
for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think there's a reason why the whole DPI reviewable process lasted for a season. It's a mess, and it is one of the few things that I feel is somewhat subjective too, which is crazy,
yeah,
to have that kind of penalty in the game. But hey, what can you do? Um,
yeah.
for every person that is going to start arguing that DPI should be reviewable, I'm going to start saying that false starts should be reviewable. Then that's my
Mm.
vengeance, because like I was saying earlier, like with Lane Johnson, I imagine if you just watched him frame by frame on any given play, half of them he's going to be false starting. And that gives a distinct advantage to that player, and that's why these penalties exist, is in order to prevent people from having a distinct advantage by bending the rules. So,
Right.
that's just my thing. I don't think we should introduce a false start review. It's just if people are going to call for DPI to be able to be reviewed, then that's the next logical step is false starts, right? It's just come on.
Yeah, yeah. Yep, but sorry guys, you gotta. There's
Oh, you
more than one
lost.
play that cost
Right.
you a game. Yeah,
Right.
like you know what I'm saying. There's more than there. Yeah, the whole. There's plenty of
Well, and they
plays
got
that you could.
away with
Yeah,
several holds earlier in the
they
game,
did. They did. They
They
did.
did. They didn't call those. They got away with them. And then surprisingly too, Carl Sheffers and crew actually let like this game play out
I was shocked by that.
fairly. Yes,
Yeah.
I was surprised that like it wasn't like a flag every other play or something. It was so the game was played.
I would
So
have jumped through my TV.
oh,
Yeah.
Carl
just for
Shepard's
a viral moment,
crews.
raw.
Mm-hmm.
Carl Shepard's crews throughout the year averaged about 13, 14 penalties a game. This game had 9 total penalties. So
Yeah.
you're right. It's
What does that
just,
tell you?
yeah, they were holding back, which is interesting. I don't know if that was instruction to them or if the game was just
Hmm.
clean. Um, I think they definitely they surprised me in how much they let happen, and it also made me happy because I think we were all worried about that with Carl Shepard's
Oh,
taking
for
the helm
sure.
here. Um, and yeah, thankfully it's not too big of an issue.
Absolutely. Yep. Sucks. It sucks. See y'all next year.
Yeah, well,
That's-
yeah,
Yeah, I'm
Sure.
not. No, I ain't going out like that.
No,
I
you
want to
shouldn't.
do reiterate. Well, no, I want to reiterate. I do think that was a phenomenal team,
Yeah,
and it wasn't an easy game. We didn't kick their ass, guys. Like we
no,
only
of
won
course.
by like 3 points.
Right.
Uh, so I just I'm looking forward
And
to
I was
see.
holding my breath the entire time.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
I,
it was
yeah,
not. It
yeah.
was a good game. Look,
It was
if
a
you
good
didn't
game.
have any skin in it, this was a
It was fun.
great football game.
yep.
Yeah,
Exactly.
exactly.
Like it
Yeah,
wasn't a blowout by one side or the other. It wasn't boring. It was like kept fairly like both sides played really well, and it wasn't.
yeah,
It was just like even I think if you were a fan of the game whatsoever, I felt like you felt like this was a good game as well.
yeah.
It was
I
one of
agree.
those rare cases where it was a high scoring game that still had good defense,
Yeah,
and that
Yeah.
doesn't happen.
yeah,
So that made it really
yeah.
enjoyable.
And that call, it was ticky tacky, but it was correct. So I mean, what are we doing here?
Yeah.
Like,
Exactly.
this is probably one of the best Super Bowls we've had in the last few years. Maybe I won't
Yep.
say like of all time. Like we definitely have to go back and go through 57 Super Bowls, right? But in the last, as far as the last two, I would say yeah, the last 2 or 3 we've had. Yeah, this was. I would even say 4. I would say up in as much as we're happy about it. I mean, Super Bowl 54, was it all that exciting? I mean, we
This was
won,
a
of
better
course.
game. Yeah.
This was a better game all around. I think for four quarters.
Hmm.
So Yeah, but
Absolutely.
I think it's a good way to wrap it up. We're at an hour and a half. Was there anything else we needed to cover?
Well, I thought we could just have some fun making a ridiculous off-season prediction for our keep the receipts. Something just
Let's see.
off
Ooh,
the wall, insane, never gonna happen in a million years.
I got one.
Yeah. All right. What's up?
do it.
The Cowboys are going to the Super Bowl.
Ooh.
Oh my God,
And I'm
bruh.
serious. No, I'm serious too. I'm serious. I'm dead serious
All right.
actually.
Ridiculous
They're 12
off-season
and
script writing.
He took that ridiculous
I
straight
love
up.
it. All right.
they're 12
Raw.
they're 12 and 5 the last two seasons. They've made it to the what did they make it to the divisional? They won the wild card game.
Yeah, they made it to
Yeah, they
divisional
made it to the divisional round.
and then got
They're going to have to
embarrassed.
compete with the Eagles, of course, but I mean the NFC is still kind of a weaker division. I think they get stronger with their receivers. I think they pick up a guy if they can pick up a guy like Keenan Allen that bolsters them on their receiving core. And I think they'll be right back in the conversation.
And
They just got to build around Dak Prescott.
and the Eagles did just lose their offensive coordinator. We don't know how much that's going to impact them. Obviously,
Mhm.
they had a great offense this year. How much was he involved in it? That'll be a great question compared to, yeah, can the Cowboys top them in the division? I can see it.
Yeah. So there it is. There's my reader receipt. We can write it down.
Oh,
The
it's
Cowboys are
happening.
going to the Super Bowl.
All right, Hung,
The
do you
only
have
reason I'm even doing
just
this is because I'm putting money on it. Because if it happens, I'm gonna get a nice little payout.
nice little payout?
Oh my gosh. Did you
Yeah.
already
So
go put a bet down on this?
Oh, I already
yes.
put a bet down on the
Oh,
Chiefs winning
Oh,
next year.
That's my
Yeah.
new. That's my new. That's not. No. Well,
wow,
they've
you
got low odds.
guys.
I'm starting to put ridiculous bets out there.
Oh
Just the
yeah.
Why not?
ridiculousness.
You grab
Yeah,
them,
that's
grab
Because
what
them
you
when
know
the
what?
odds are insane.
One day you might need the bond money to get out of jail. So
Yeah,
I'm just
exactly.
After we're robbing
No, no,
banks
no,
in
no,
order
no,
to
no.
fund
Okay.
our ridiculous bets.
oh
Hashtag
my
block the
God.
wolf. Hashtag block the wolf.
Oh my
That's all
Oh,
I'm
he's
saying.
gosh.
posting again.
Yes. Oh my
This man's like
god.
a Batman villain, man. This
It's
man's like a
Look.
insane.
Batman.
Oh,
Escape from Arkham. He out here causing a ruckus again.
Oh goodness gracious. Do you have anything crazy that you want to predict?
mm, no.
No.
I don't have anything crazy. No, but y'all know the mom in me here. We got to say congratulations to Nick Allegretti and his wife Christina for their twins that were born on Super Bowl
Oh,
Sunday.
Super
Okay,
Bowl
his wife
twins.
Super Bowl
in
babies.
Chicago, born in Chicago. And then McCole Hardman and his girlfriend also
Yes, I saw that.
welcomed a new baby,
Yep,
also on Super Bowl Sunday.
I saw
So
it.
y'all,
Wow.
Shout out to McCole. We're gonna
I
miss you because I
gotta
don't
mention
think
the
he's
baby.
coming back.
No,
But
I
shout
don't
out to
think
McCole.
so. We
I
could
do
be
like him.
wrong,
I like it. Yeah, we could be wrong. I like him as a person, but I just don't think I think his journey with the Chiefs are at an end. So
yeah.
maybe you could put. I don't know if that's a ridiculous take, but it is a take that I'm holding strong.
It is a
Oh,
take,
no, we already
sure.
have
Yeah.
it
And
saved and keep the
Yeah,
receipts. Yeah.
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 Billy, do you have a ridiculous take?
Oh
He's
gosh,
got
I've been
4 of them.
yeah.
I'm looking at
Uh,
this list
Aside
right now.
from, yeah.
oh man. No, I mean, I've been trying to think of something that would just be absolutely hilarious. Like just a dream, like you wouldn't even see it written in a sitcom kind of level insanity. I
What, like the Cardinals are going to go to the Super Bowl, like that sort of
no,
level?
just
They
something.
won't.
Just something absurd. Like yeah. I can't even think of anything. I did laugh quite a
See, that's how
bit.
my brain feels, y'all.
Yeah.
That is exactly how my brain feels. Like I can't even think of something.
No,
Like
here's
I'm
what
just living in this list.
here's what mine's gonna be. SKC, KC Current, and the Chiefs all win championships next year.
I don't think that's
Love
ridiculous.
it.
I
I
don't
don't
think that's
think it is
ridiculous.
either.
I think this like I think I've been ranting as like an old man. These last couple of maybe months, especially now though, we just won our second Super Bowl, the Chiefs in 4 years, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you're a Kansas City kid growing up in like 2010 on, all you know is success.
Yeah.
All you know, like these teams are out here. This is title town right now. It's not like Boston
Yeah.
yet,
No.
but I mean,
Yeah.
these teams the teams that are playing are pretty good, and I don't see the Royals in the conversation, but I could definitely. KC Current was pretty good this year, correct?
Yep. They
I
made
haven't
it
been
to the
following them.
championship game, so.
They made it to the championship. Sporting
Uh-huh.
KC is usually in the conversation.
Mm-hmm.
Kansas City Chiefs are usually in the conversation. The Kansas Jayhawks in the
Always,
tournament, they're
yeah.
usually in the conversation. So yeah,
Be crazy.
title town.
Really?
Titletown,
You're just
absolutely.
gonna not say anything about how Mizzou Tigers are
I'm
doing
not.
pretty good in
I
basketball
kept it
so far this
moving.
season,
Are they
even though
good?
last
I haven't been
Auburn.
paying attention.
We've been playing pretty good.
Okay, all
No,
right.
it'll be
Miz-
great when you guys are a 9 seed in the tournament and
Yeah,
get
I was gonna
knocked
say
out by the 8 seed.
Mizzou to the Elite Eight. There we go.
There we
There we go. That's a good year.
Oh man.
Anyway, sorry, I had to throw that out there. I had to throw that out there.
Yeah, but no, you're right. Like it's Titletown. So Sporting Kansas City in the last 10 years have won 6 trophies of some form or another. Or 5 trophies. It might be only 5. KC Current in 2 years of existence went from worst team in the league in their first year to runners up in the league. Chiefs, of course, 3 Super Bowl appearances, 2 championships in that time frame. Royals, despite actually, I think I saw the stat the other day, in the past 20 years have lost or won the least amount of games in Major League Baseball. But during
Mm-hmm.
that 20 game period, also had two World Series appearances, with one of them being a win. That's every single professional sports team at a top tier in Kansas City, at the very least showing up to a ship game, if not winning it. I mean, there isn't another city that's doing that right now. It's incredible. So it's definitely a good time to be living here. That's for sure. We're about to become
Absolutely.
absolutely obnoxious human beings if we aren't already.
If we aren't
Uh,
already, oh my God.
some of y'all have a lot of passion. That's all I'm gonna say. That's all. Y'all got a lot of passion online. So
It's
Well,
craziness.
I think we've learned a few lessons about super fandom too this season.
Oh,
So
yes. Oh my God. Yeah.
oh man,
sorry,
we've
y'all.
had some nut
I
jobs.
can't stop. I'm
Oh,
like, what? No. Okay.
Bro
it's
just
great.
came back
We
like
love it.
nothing was wrong. He just
Right?
came back like nothing happened. Like
No, I did not just get out of being in a prison cell for the
from
last
holding people
since
at
the
gunpoint,
Texans
man.
weekend. Oh my God. No, I did not just yeah, exactly. I didn't hold anybody at gunpoint and tell them to give me money or I'm gonna shoot them in the throat. No,
Bro,
I did not.
let's ship
My
him
And then
favorite
the way people are just like talking to him like no big deal.
my favorite thing in the world is the fact that he petitioned to go to Arizona for a pre-planned family vacation.
Jesus Christ.
And I don't think he was allowed to, but I mean, yeah, it's just like the
Right. The ankle arrest monitor would not allow him to leave the confines of his perimeter,
yeah, it just
Jesus
wherever that
Christ.
is.
the cojones to just be like, yeah, we totally had a pre-planned family vacation to Arizona. So what? It happens to
I would
be
have
during the
died
Super
if he
Bowl.
would have showed up
Oh my
on
God.
like somebody's videos and picture. Oh my God, I would have died.
Just
All right.
absolutely
No,
fantastic.
we
All
petition
right.
Oklahoma,
We
Bixby
get
County to hold him further. Anyway,
moving
Oh
on,
my
moving on,
goodness. Oh,
moving
it's
on.
too great. I love this. It's insane. It's
Yeah.
absolutely insane. Oh man.
lots of sideline material to talk about, y'all.
Oh yeah.
Lots.
Nonstop.
And y'all mad at Jackson Mahomes. We got a real costume
Mad at Jackson. Who's mad at
costume
Jackson?
super. We have a costume
I'm
super
mad he
villain.
didn't wear any red.
I don't care. Man. Like,
Between
this
him
man
and
is
X Factor, it's just
I don't give a damn. This kid's
oh,
gonna dance.
man.
Let him dance.
Let him dance.
We got a real life super villain living in Kansas City, man.
Oh
Escaping
my
out of
goodness.
Arkham like the damn Joker or the Penguin, bro. Like
Paying his bail money with MVP Patrick Mahomes winnings probably too. It's like insane.
yeah.
All right.
But
Last slide I had thrown up here though is just for us to talk about our off-season plans.
yes.
Hung's finally going to overtake me in everything graphic design wise. She promised it. We all heard it. I think that can be agreed. That's why she's being rewarded with the opportunity to represent this podcast at the Super Bowl next year. Because she promised to overtake everything when it comes to putting this together, right? Right?
We'll see.
I like super villain
about
status now.
We'll see about that.
Yeah, but Ryan, I know you've talked about a lot of stuff that you want to come up with. Is there anything you want to preview to the group at large for not just the off season, but like going into next year?
Well, I'll start by saying one of our earlier shows we'll probably do like a season review. just like regular season rewards, postseason awards,
Mhm.
things like that. We'll definitely get a show like that together. Give you, and I'm just telling you, this was one of my ideas. So this is live on the show. I'm telling you two right here. If y'all like that idea, maybe we can each think of like a candidate and things like that.
Come up with a
Just talk
few
about
different
different,
topics to kind of do
yeah,
our
a few
own
different
award. Okay,
topics.
I like it.
Yeah, and then of course, since the draft is in Kansas City this year, I do feel like we should do some draft talk. I know me and Hong
Whoop,
have like a history of
whoop.
like not being really big on the draft because neither one of us like watch a lot of college football
Oh
like
yeah,
that. But
yeah.
it is. I
Mhm.
mean, it's in Kansas City. We got to do it. We got to talk about it. So
Yes, yes. Okay. Yeah,
yeah. But
we can do that.
off subject, off
Outside of
topic.
football,
I
yeah.
guess out. Well, I would say outside of the Chiefs, outside of the Chiefs, gotta talk about Tom Brady. Let's talk about Tom Brady. We don't have a
Hmm.
Tom Brady show. We got to. Yeah, I know. I know Hong's not gonna be there for that one,
She's
but
already off. Oh, I
Wait,
can't connect to Wi-Fi right now. My
yeah.
Wi-Fi's
I
going.
want to another one we had. We want to talk about, and then shout out to RMR23 on this one. Kansas City sports legends. Where does Mahomes sit in that conversation, and then just like a general
Yes.
conversation
Yeah.
about
uh-huh.
Kansas City sports legends. So those are
Who's
just a
the
few
Mount
ideas
Rushmore? Yeah,
of Kansas City.
I think that's one of our assignments for this upcoming one, and something we want to hear about on Twitter and Discord for sure is I think each of us need to come up with top 4 Kansas City sports athletes. Whatever
Mount
you can
Rushmore.
define it however you want to. The rule is that it just has to be somebody who played in Kansas City for a chunk enough of their career that they're associated with the city, I would say.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
absolutely.
so, you know, don't talk about Darrell
Yeah.
Revis, I guess, right?
No, no, he's not invited.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's we got in, of course, like you said, some pop culture stuff. We love talking about movies, so we'll probably have a couple movie discussions.
Yeah, we'll finally talk about
Um,
Black Panther, I'm sure.
we'll talk about Black Panther. I'm sure we'll talk about this new Ant Man. We'll talk about all the crazy Fast and Furious and all this other stuff we just talked about. So I'm excited. It'll be
Yeah.
fun. We have some good ideas going, I think, for this off season. So you'll see some I don't want to say improvements because I like what we're doing. This has
Yeah.
been great. This has been
I
fun.
do. I love what we're
Um,
doing, but we're just
yeah,
growing with each
yeah.
season, you
You see
know?
some
So
growth. I like
that's
that.
it.
Yeah,
There
we'll
we
see some
go.
growth. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. One thing
All
I'm going
right.
to try to commit to is dual streaming. Rob brought it up to me offline,
Yes.
talking about being able to stream to both Twitter and YouTube. I'm going to be working on figuring that out because
You
I
gotta
just haven't been able to yet.
you gotta hit
Um,
up the Kingdom Queens.
yeah,
Shout out to the
ask
Kingdom
them.
Queens.
Yeah,
They figured that out. So we need to hit
they
them
know
up.
it's good. Yeah, I'm sure.
They follow the show. So Lexi, shout out to Lexi, shout out uh to all the girls. I'm blanking on the names right now. I am so sorry, but I do watch their show. I listen to their podcast, and they figured out how to do Twitter stream and YouTube stream.
I'm sure it's really
So
easy, and I just haven't found the solution to it yet. So that's definitely something I'm going to commit to, and working on just the layout overall. If there's something anyone wants to see when it comes to the actual functionality of the stream, please let me know.
absolutely, yeah. Lexi, Chrissy, and Jody. Yeah,
Lexi,
they got
Chrissy,
it down.
Jody.
Yep. So
All right,
um yeah, but that's it, man. I'd like to go ahead and let them know where to find me.
please.
Go right ahead,
It's
Rob.
not gonna be in Bixby, Oklahoma. I'll tell you that much. It'll
Stop.
be right on Twitter, the Almighty Raw, on Instagram, the Almighty Raw, TikTok, the Almighty Raw, and find our show on State of the Kingdom on YouTube, SOT Kingdom KC on Twitter, and State of the Kingdom on Discord. We post a link everywhere.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. Hung, where can they find you?
Every social media platform, all the ones that Raw mentioned, and then some, by my first and last name, Hong Forrest, HUONGFORREST. I would say I'm most active on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. So find me there if you want to come along for the inspiration and stay for the light, the passion, the mom life, and the football, of course. And last but not least, Billy.
Yeah, the aggressively early, cheerful tweets always brighten my day.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm
She's
mostly.
on time with it. She's on.
Right?
She's awake before I am and 2 hours earlier. It's like,
And
oh
I'm
my
already
god,
done.
what are you doing? It is too early for me to be cheerful. How in the
Nah, it's like
heck?
clockwork.
I love
Yeah.
this. I
She's
love
got it
it.
down to a science,
That's
man.
impressive. Yeah, Twitter for me, pretty much exclusively. I'm not like all the other cool kids and on all the other social media. So Chef Doobles at ChefDoobles, and then yeah, I've been streaming a lot more on YouTube. So YouTube.com/at Chef Doobles. Whenever that does go live, be sure to subscribe to both our YouTube here and that one as well, if you don't mind.
Absolutely. And once again, your Kansas City Chiefs are 3-time Super Bowl champions. Take it in,
Whoop,
people. Take it
whoop.
in.
All we do is win. That's all I'm saying.
Absolutely. More to come, I'm sure. But until then, y'all enjoy your off season. We'll probably see y'all next week or the next couple weeks. And go Chiefs.
Go Chiefs.
Go Chiefs.